We are absolutely winning right now. Absolutely. We have done more than change the conversation. We changed the balance of power in the federal government.
No more money for you. It's lazy. You lazy. You lazy. No more money for you.
Hey, you know what? Let me hit that.
Really?
I can handle it.
I am certain that you cannot.
Oh, come on. I smoked a ton of weed in the 90s.
Right, the 90s.
Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Working here.
Trisha Everest is the chair of the Oklahoma State Work Permits and Visas Task Force. She was appointed by Governor Stitt after the passage of House Bill 4156 this year. Their main focus, finding ways to help immigrants get their visas, paperwork, and permits. One idea, creating the Office of New Oklahomans.
Not only in Oklahoma, but nationwide. The majority of people who are non-citizens are really actually highly educated.
One of the recommendations from the task force, increase work permits and visas for non-citizens that want to move to Oklahoma or are already here. The idea is to retain highly skilled and educated talent, especially if they have a degree from an American university.
If we have individuals, non-citizens that are coming and they're training in our universities, and they become specialists in fields where we need them. We need nurses. There's not enough visas available nationally for them to actually practice.
The task force realized the national visa system is outdated and flawed. So their argument is, why not let workers that want to be here stay here?
Here we train all of this talent, and then they have to go back to the country of origin, and then they go through a process.
Another recommendation, giving driving privilege cards to qualifying non-citizens, a concept already in use in the state of Utah. The Secretary
California has a program meant to help low-income first-time homebuyers get a down payment. William Lajeunesse joins me. William, could this program soon be available to illegal migrants?
Well, Stuart, that is what Democrats are trying to ram through Sacramento right now. It's basically a program that subsidizes qualified illegal immigrants to up to $100,000 each to buy a home. To $100,000 each, to $100,000 each, to $100,000 each to buy a home. So the program is called the California Dream for All program. It's created to help middle and income home buyers. Now, initially, the program required residents to be here legally, either a U.S. citizen or a legal permanent resident. But last week, Assembly Democrats overrode Republican opposition, changing that eligibility to say this: an applicant who meets the requirements for a loan under the Home Purchase Assistance Program shall not be disqualified by the agency based solely on the applicant's immigration status.
The social and economic benefits of homeownership should be accessible to everyone, regardless of immigration status.
So the program provides first-time buyers with a zero-interest loan up to 20% of a home's purchase price. On a median priced home in California, that's about $150,000 cash up front for each buyer, with their down payment and help with closing costs. So far this year, the program cost taxpayers about $255 million to help about 2,000 buyers. The bill is sponsored by a prominent Latino rights group with close ties to Vice President Harris.
What the rest of the America needs to be worried about is the Kamala Harris-Walz administration taking these crazy California ideas and nationalizing them and taking them to the rest of the country. The country can't afford to buy illegal immigrants' homes.
So eventually, Stuart, the state is repaid with a little appreciation. It is run by a state agency that will then help the immigrant obtain the other 80% of the financing. The bill is expected to pass this week. We don't know what Governor Newsom is going to do, sign it or not. Back to you.
My guess is he'll sign it, but that's another story. William, thank you very much indeed.
Federal authorities are warning that a ruthless criminal gang from Venezuela has now infiltrated the U.S.
Now, Tren de Aragua is accused of a string of seemingly unrelated crimes, from an alleged multi-state human trafficking ring to the mysterious murder of a former police officer in Miami. Let's bring in CNN's Rafael Romo. Rafael, this is a gang that originated in a Venezuelan prison.
That's right, Boris and Brianna. That's the most amazing thing, and that seemed to be their center of operations. And we already knew Tren de Aragua had spread its tentacles across South America. In the last several months, we investigated cases here in the United States that have all the markings of the gang, and now federal and local law enforcement, members of Congress, and immigrants are all telling us the same thing. The gang is now here in the country, and it poses a serious threat. For the last several years, they have terrorized multiple South American countries. Police in the region say a Venezuelan gang known as Tren de Aragua has victimized thousands through extortion, drug and human trafficking, kidnapping, and murder. And now U.S. law enforcement, including Customs and Border Protection and the FBI, say the gang has made their way into the country.
The FBI El Paso can confirm that members of Tren de Aragua have crossed into the United States.
Alvaro Bosa, a former Venezuelan police officer now living in Florida, says he fled his country in large part because the gang had become so powerful they could kill law enforcement like him with impunity. Bosa says a fellow police officer who refused to cooperate with the gang was shot 50 times.
He refused and was murdered. He tied his body to a motorcycle and dragged it throughout the San Vicente neighborhood to demonstrate the power of the Tren de Aragua.
They have followed the migration paths across South America to other countries and have set up criminal groups throughout South America as they follow those paths, and that they appear to have followed the migration north to the United States.
U.S. Border Patrol Chief Jason Owens, who has confirmed multiple arrests of alleged Tren de Aragua members over the last year, issued a warning in early April after reporting yet another arrest. Watch out for this gang, he said. It is the most powerful in Venezuela, known for murder, drug trafficking, sex crimes, extortion, and other violent acts. The challenge for law enforcement officials is that it's very difficult to know how many members of Tren de Aragua are already here in the United States. What some Venezuelan immigrants are telling us here in Florida and other states is that they are already beginning to see in their communities the same type of criminal activity they fled from in Venezuela.
They do have their hands in prostitution, contract killing, selling of drugs, selling of arms. You name it. It's just all types of criminal activity that they can engage in. Anything that's an illicit activity, they're going to engage in for a profit.
Tren de Aragua, a violent Venezuelan street gang that is operating in the United States.
A judge in Miami-Dade County said in a hearing that one of two suspects in the murder of a former Venezuelan police officer in South Florida allegedly is a member of the gang. And more recently, a New York police source told CNN the 19-year-old who allegedly opened fire on two officers after they tried to stop him for riding a scooter in the wrong direction has tattoos associated with the gang.
El gobierno no sabe quiénes los que están aquí.
Bosa, the former Venezuelan police officer, says the U.S. government has no way of knowing if a Venezuelan immigrant asking for asylum at the southern border is, in reality, a criminal because Venezuela, as a matter of policy, does not share intelligence with the United States.
Fed up with Denver's sanctuary city policies, now inviting brutal Venezuelan gang violence into their once quiet suburbs. John Fabricatori is a retired ICE field director running for Congress in that Colorado district, and he joins me now. John, to be clear, Denver is the city. They voted for these sanctuary city policies, but it is a suburb, Aurora, that has to deal with them. How bad is Aurora right now?
You know, the situation's really starting to get bad. Sanctuary jurisdiction protects criminals and not U.S. citizens. And the real issue here is that there's a huge increase in violence in these areas in Aurora where these newly arrived foreign-born migrants, many of whom are Venezuelan, have started to grow. And I think the public's just concerned that if this issue isn't stopped now, it will get worse. And many people in Aurora and the surrounding communities just want to be told the truth.
Denver has welcomed over 42,000 migrants, costing the city more than $72 million. One of these guys from Tren de Aragua, he's a gang leader. He's called the Cookie Monster because his name somewhat translates to cookie in Spanish, but he has quite the rap sheet: assault, shooting. Yet he and his gang have been able to somehow seize multiple apartment complexes, not one building, but complexes, like the entire thing, to run their crime ring. How does that happen, John?
You know, it really happens because I think a lot of the city leaders are just complicit. They're allowing this sanctuary just to come into these areas, and they don't want to push back against it. You know, sanctuary policy is a state policy here in Colorado. Aurora itself, through the Aurora City Council, has kind of pushed back on it, but we're still seeing a lot of leaders try to ignore it and not let the public know exactly what's going on. You know, many of these are not average asylum seekers that are coming in. Many of them cannot even claim asylum. And, unfortunately, there is this mix of criminal element which contains groups like the transnational criminal organization Tren de Aragua.
It's unbelievable. What's your message to those who live in suburbs, not just in Colorado, but in all 50 states, who think that the Biden-Harris open border policy, if you will, is really only contained to those sanctuary cities? And if I'm living in a suburb, I don't have to deal with it. What's your message to them, John?
Yeah, it's not. The Biden-Harris administration is complicit in having allowed our borders just be in chaos. They've allowed this criminal element in. You know, as taxpayers, you have to keep pushing back. You have to say, you know, we're not going to accept this. We just want to know the truth. We deserve our communities to be safe, and we deserve for the border to be secure.
What I love about this, and love, I mean in an ironic sense, his home country of Venezuela will not accept U.S. deportations. And why is that? Is because so many of the people that Venezuela sends us are criminals. They don't want those criminals back. Donald Trump has vowed to send them back somewhere out of the country if he's reelected. I think that's a pretty interesting choice for the American people. Quite a contrast if you're the voter.
Sanctuary jurisdiction protects criminals and not U.S. citizens. And the real issue here is that there's a huge increase in violence in these areas in Aurora where these newly arrived foreign-born migrants, many of whom are Venezuelan, have started to grow. The Biden-Harris administration is complicit in having allowed our borders just be in chaos. They've allowed this criminal element.
And now police in Aurora are creating a task force to address concerns about the rise of a violent Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua, right there in Colorado. Let's bring in our Aurora City Council member, Danielle Jurinsky. Danielle, thank you. We've been hearing about this for quite some time. Residents have shared their concern. We've heard this coming up at city council meetings there. Aurora said we don't have anything to do with this migrant crisis or trying to help because we just don't have the space. The hospitals were overwhelmed. What is it that you're seeing right now as far as this Venezuelan gang taking over now the migrant centers there?
It's unreal. It's unreal. Residents tell me they feel like they are living in a third world country at this point. They are going block by block. They are going apartment complex by apartment complex. They are taking it over. I think the city doesn't really know how to handle it. So the city is burying certain properties that have been taken over by this Trende Aragua gang, burying them with code violations and playing it off as if this is just simply code violations. But this gang, they are marking their territory. They are putting up their gang-related graffiti on the blocks, on the areas that they have taken over. And quite frankly, I have heard too many stories from too many property owners, business owners, and residents to think that this is anything other than a complete gang takeover in parts of our city.
Like, what are you hearing from them? So say the business owners, for example, what have they been experiencing?
Break-ins, violence, kicking doors in. I had one property owner tell me that a tenant literally vanished from their property. To this day, they don't know what happened to that tenant. His phone was shut off. They had not collected rent. They went, knocked on the door to get into the unit. The Aurora Police Department had to come let them in the unit, and the whole place was filled with guns, money, and giant barrels of gasoline. I am being told that they are running a black market for gasoline. And again, like I said, to this day, they have no idea what happened to that man, to their tenant.
Just reading through what we know about Cookie Monster. I'm sure you've heard about this local gang leader by now. This is according to the reporting in the New York Post. This person has set up operations with the other gang members there in Aurora. This person allegedly took part in a brutal assault at an apartment complex there in Aurora. In March 2024, was arrested and charged with several felony assault charges, but was bailed out of custody and failed to show up in court. July 2024, just a couple months ago, arrested for allegedly carrying out a shooting at the same apartment where the previous assault occurred. One of your biggest points is, and we've heard this from others, is that Denver initially downplayed the concerns about this gang takeover. Where's the city now on this, and what are they doing about it? I mean, we've heard that the Venezuelan gang has green-lighted their members to attack police when confronted.
That's right. And Denver remains silent on the issue. Our governor remains silent on this issue. But the city of Aurora, we are taking a very different approach. We are trying to expose everything that we can. The Aurora Police Department just formed a gang task force. I have heard of this Cookie Monster and that he is the shot caller for this gang in the area. I have visited many of these properties. One time I stepped out of my vehicle and an alert whistle. This is how they're communicating, by whistling. An alert whistle happened, and I very quickly had to get back in my car. They have people posted all around different properties, up and down different blocks. They're watching, they're communicating. This is no less than a complete gang takeover. I have heard of this Cookie Monster. I have heard he was arrested, and the fact that he is back out on the streets is an epic failure to the people of Aurora and the entire state of Colorado.
I just want to finish up with this warning from the FBI director, if we still have it, from Director Wray. This was in April of this year, when he was warning about the rise of this Venezuelan gang. Listen.
We have ongoing engagement with intelligence community partners, state and local law enforcement, in some cases foreign partners, looking at whether it's their, drug trafficking, extortion, kidnapping for ransom, different kinds of violent crime, different kinds of trafficking and smuggling, even things like organized retail theft.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, right? And we know that the Lake and Riley murder suspect had ties to a Venezuelan crime gang, assuming this one. And that was a serious threat. And for so long, people think, well, this isn't coming to their backyard. And here Denver and these surrounding areas are dealing with it. Final thought from you.
The final thought is that out of Aurora, Colorado, we are going to continue to stand up and expose this. I am working with many of these residents. I am personally pitching in and helping to get them moved out themselves. And a huge tell-all is coming very, very soon out of Aurora from these residents themselves, that we will not allow the state to continue to downplay this. We will not allow the federal government to continue to downplay this.
group of migrants tried to board a school bus this morning while it was traveling to a school. The superintendent for the Humul del Zura Union School District informed parents of that incident earlier today. It happened at one of the stops on the school district's bus route that heads to Oak Grove Middle School and Humul Primary. Meanwhile, yesterday afternoon, in a similar area along another route, the superintendent says that a group of migrants tried to stop another bus. Border Patrol, CHP, and the Sheriff's Office have now been informed of these incidents. The superintendent says that for the safety of everyone, if a driver sees a group of migrants at a bus stop, they will drive past it and move on to the next. A group of migrants tried to board a school bus this morning while it was traveling to a school. The superintendent for the Humul del Zura Union School District informed parents of that incident earlier today. It happened at one of the stops on the school district's bus route that heads to Oak Grove Middle School and Humul Primary. Meanwhile, yesterday afternoon, in a similar area along another route, the superintendent says that a group of migrants tried to stop another bus. Border Patrol, CHP, and the Sheriff's Office have now been informed of these incidents. The superintendent says that for the safety of everyone, if a driver sees a group of migrants at a bus stop, they will drive past it and move on to the next. A group of migrants.
So we're here for pattern 156. Essentially, it's about 62 cases right now, 7 boroughs, grand larceny, snatches, and robberies with homes taken. Putting out essentially a hit for people to go do his dirty work to grab phones and stuff. So he's the big target. He's caused a lot of problems in New York City, and hopefully we'll grab him. We get some headway in this.
First of all, thanks a lot, guys. Listen, we saw what happened on the video, and there are 172,000 migrants and asylum seekers who are here. Overwhelmingly, many are here just what the same thing all of our families want. For those who think they're going to come to our country, break our laws, assault our cops, that was not only an assault on an individual, that was an assault on our system of public safety. They're going to use organized methods to commit crimes. It just can't happen, and it won't happen. Not in New York City. I'm the mayor of the city, or while you're in this police department. This is not about the migrants and asylum seekers. It's about those who break the law. It doesn't matter where you're from and where you came from. You break the law, you're going to feel the full weight of this department. So let's go get these guys.
We're here in the location in the Bronx. The gun violence team, along with the grand larceny team, just conducted a search warrant here. Migrants preying on vulnerable New Yorkers in New York City. Pattern 156. Over 60 victims committing crimes as robberies, grand larcenies, purse snatches. Guess what? This department, this agency is not going to tolerate that. We will find you. Anyone that commits any act of harm against one of our New Yorkers, we're going to find you, we're going to arrest you, we're going to bring you to justice. Craig, anything to say?
Nah, great job. Everything was handled, everybody left safe, and we put bad guys in jail.
People in New York City are begging everyone to repeal sanctuary status, and there's a major reason why. The Venezuelan gang Tren de Agua, hope I'm saying it right, has been setting up like its headquarters in New York City. And that's not fucking funny. This is some scary ass shit. Not only that, but they're looking to team up with the MS-13s in order to like expand. Right now, what they're doing, right now, they're only stealing phones. I mean, it's not only, they stole 62 phones already. And what they're doing is there's somebody driving on a moped, somebody on the back. The guy in the back steals the phone that you're walking around with, keeps it open so that way the lock screen doesn't come. They bring it to a hacker in the Bronx. The hacker in the Bronx opens it up, takes out all your money from your bank accounts, Venmo, Chase, whatever. Then they send that cell phone in a bundle with other cell phones to Colombia and then sell it. There's a major operation going on here in New York City that they just set up. What the fuck did you think was gonna happen? When you're like, no, we can let people in the border. You don't have to vet anybody. These are all great, wonderful people. And here's the fucking hilarious part of it is that people are still gonna watch this video and go, what's wrong with letting them in? It's gonna be fine. You're just racist. Like you Democrats are fucking evil, man. Like that's That's a whole nother level. But I guarantee you, if you were living here and had to deal with this shit, you wouldn't like it so much. I'm not making this shit up. Mayor Adams, the police commissioner, they had a whole press conference about this gang, an entire press conference about what they have discovered and how bad it's getting. People are begging for ICE to get involved so that way they can get deported. But nope, the DA, Alvin Bragg, is just, he's just hanging out. Let these people go. It's fine. You get arrested, you come in, then we let you out. No big deal. We'll see you back in 15 minutes.
This video needs to go viral immediately. What's going on in Colorado, especially in Denver and Aurora, and all across the United States with this migrant crisis needs so much more attention on it, especially with the gang Tren de Aragua. Especially considering that allegedly a Tren de Aragua leader gave the green light quotations to its members to shoot police officers in Denver, Colorado alone. I mean, allegedly Aurora alone has become a base of operations for that gang, which has seized multiple apartment complexes and set off a wave of violent crime. And supposedly Denver leads the nation in new migrant arrivals, with more than 40,000 arriving from the southern border since December of 2022. And reportedly, the city has been over backwards to provide aid, even slashing emergency services to help foot the cost, so far estimated at over $68 million and counting. One local gang member allegedly decided to set up shop in town as well. And within months of arriving in the U.S., cops supposedly say that he and fellow gang members brutally beat a man at Aurora apartment complex that the gang took over and occupied. And this is the interesting thing that seems to be a trend. In July, cops arrested him again, this time for shooting at the same complex that left 2 men also wounded. And members of Tren de Aragua are accused of a slew of violent crimes across the United States, including murdering Georgia nursing student Laken Riley earlier this year and shooting of 2 NYPD cops during an arrest in June. But supposedly when this gang leader crossed the southern border in 2022 into Texas, he was vetted by federal border authorities who didn't see anything concerning about his past and then released. He told Border Patrol agents he was going to New York but ended up at an ICE office in Colorado in June of 2023 when he was given a court date and again was cut loose. And then soon after, allegedly, he started unleashing havoc on the community again. Let's keep in mind, this comes after allegedly the Democratic Party's 2024 platform endorses a bill that would create a pathway for illegal immigrants to become, in quotations, lawful prospective immigrants who would be issued IDs and social security numbers and be able to vote and join the U.S. military. But not just that, the bill would also allow people already deported under the Trump administration, but not the Obama administration, to come back by applying for the new legalized status if they had lived in the United States for at least 3 years. You know, that's really interesting that they mentioned social security numbers, because apparently every single American social security number was just leaked. But nobody wants to blame Kamala Harris? I'm confused. But supposedly the Aurora Police Department announced Monday that it's joining forces with the Colorado State Patrol and Colorado Bureau of Investigation to create a special task force to address the city's concerns about the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. Especially because a federal grand jury in the District of Colorado indicted 4 Venezuelan nationals linked to the gang on Wednesday for their role in the armed robbery of a family-owned jewelry store in Denver in June. And then you have that allegedly they have deep ties with Venezuela's socialist regime, and that it's expanded its presence and criminal activities across several U.S. cities in recent years as more of its members continue to enter the United States. U.S. authorities have reportedly confirmed the gang's presence in Miami, New York, Chicago, and Atlanta. And police officials from Dallas, Texas announced this week alone that criminal activities linked to the gang have been detected in the northern area of the city as well. So they are being reported to have territory all across the United States. Not that I have a political stance, but people are still somehow going to find a reason to blame Trump, as if his administration didn't propose building a border wall. But it gets worse. Tren de Aragua's growing list of criminal activities in the United States range from violent cell phone robbery schemes in New York to a now dismantled sex trafficking network in Louisiana that reportedly smuggled its victims to the United States after teaching them how to request asylum at the U.S. southern border. And allegedly, the gang members forced the victims into prostitution to pay for the debt accrued from smuggling them into the United States. Kamala Harris was the border czar for 3.5 years, and what did she do? It's so confusing to say that you're pledging to protect women's rights, but then you allow these gangs to come into the United States, putting women in danger. It doesn't make any sense. And then you have shit like this. Allegedly, that gang leader that I just told you about had been ordered deported by an immigration judge last week. But because he's from Venezuela, a country that doesn't accept deportations from the U.S., he is likely here to stay. And supposedly, Tren de Aragua has been sneaking members into the U.S. via the southern border for years. And that it's also reportedly started recruiting within the U.S. among migrant communities, mainly in New York, Denver, and Chicago as well. And ironically, if you just so happen to look at every single individual that crossed over the border since last year, a majority of them look like military-age men. And Kamala Harris doesn't seem to be mentioning this at all. But then again, why would she, right?
So some Venezuelan gangs have taken over an apartment complex in Colorado, and there is absolutely nothing that the government, the police, Homeland Security, immigration, no one is doing anything about it. And I'm just like, I understand that they have like illegal guns because they've robbed places, but they're also kidnapping people. They're robbing people. They are sex trafficking and human trafficking out in broad daylight. So if they're doing all of these illegal things, why don't we just take a weapon that is very sudden, very hot, and highly expandable with a lot of energy and just take them all out, if you catch my drift? Because like we're not going to get anything accomplished if we just let them sit there and do what they want. We got to show them that this is America and we bear arms, the biggest arms. I don't understand. So some Venezuelan gangs have taken over an apartment complex in Colorado, and
Nigga, the Venezuelans is taking over. They just jacked them? Oh, me. These niggas is out here tripping. Bro, damn, they done made a mess and shit.
Nigga, y'all are on bullshit out here. That is on bullshit.
Oh, shit. What the Yeah, they're tripping. Nigga, they cracking off in the air and everything. They driving over the... Nigga, we almost just got hit. These niggas is on bullshit. I'm trying to record, but I gotta watch the...
I want to talk about the Venezuelan gangs real quick because I got into a conversation with somebody earlier and they were like, well, why do you care so much about that? I'm going to tell you why I care about that so much. I've been dealing with gangs my whole life. Bloods, Crips, Vice Lords, Latin Kings, Nietas, 28s. I mean, the list goes on of gangs that I've dealt with. Rat Hunters, MS-13, a little bit of MS-13, not much. They started coming in New York at the end of my bid. Anyways, somebody made a comment about, well, we got gangs over here and we'll just sick them, our gangs after their gangs. Well, this is what people don't realize about the gangs over here. The gangs over here are not at the same level at the gangs that come from these foreign countries. Most of them are paramilitary. Most of them are guerrilla warfare that they've been training, you know, like soldiers. They're soldiers from political parties. The prime example of that was back in the, I think it was the 60s or 70s, early 80s maybe. They had we called them a gang over here. They were Jamaican and they were called Shower Posse. But Shower Posse was originally a political party in Jamaica that had its own army. And there was several uprisings, revolutions, and they lost and had to go. So I say a lot of that to say these Venezuelan gangs are not the same thing that the gangs that we have over here. They don't play the same. They don't have the same laws, the same rules, and they have way more training. Not saying that our guys aren't tough. We have dealt with the level of insanity that these gangs are going to bring. Watch the internet, man. We don't do the things over here that they do over there. We might be violent and crazy, but they're not going to have regard for anybody. Any nationality, any orientation. They don't care if you're protesting with them. They are not going to care. The gangs that have come over here and the people that have come over here at some point, guys, it's going to be an issue. We see it all over. We're not stupid. Let's stop ignoring it and start paying attention. Just be careful. Be aware. This is just my opinion, so you know, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. You know, my opinion is this. And my opinion is, I have a strong feeling that, well, this is all a plan. This is all the globalists. They have decided to do this. They went to all these countries and decided, hey, the globalists said, hey, I'll tell you what, we'll fund all of this. Empty your prisons. Send the worst of the worst over there. Let's flood them. And then what we'll do is we'll cut them off for their money And bang, watch what happens, which is what's going to happen. They're kicking them out of hotel rooms. What are they going to do, guys? They're going to come after us because to them, we are the prize. It's not the government that they're mad at. They don't care about the United States government. As far as they think the United States government is great, we're the scumbags. We're the ones that don't want to help them out. And even if we were the ones that wanted to help them out, they're still going to take it. It doesn't make a difference. They are here to take what is ours. My opinion, you don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. But I can tell you one thing, I'm more right than I'm wrong. I want everybody out there to have a safe day and really think about the choices that they're making and the things that they're ignoring or the things that they don't want to say. Speak out before it's too late. Speak your words. Let people know how you feel. Don't be afraid, because if you're afraid, they're going to take advantage of you. I know this for a fact. You don't have to be afraid. There's somebody there that feels exactly like you. I'm not saying put yourself in harm's way. Keep yourself safe. Keep your family safe. But be you and be true. And the Lord is my shepherd.
And the wolves are at the gate.
Have a safe day.
All right. I want y'all to imagine something. You just got up to work from doing a long ass motherfucking shift, right? You come home only to find out Venezuelan gangs done took over your entire apartment building.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology.
Time has expired.
My life was threatened. Thank you.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
Now imagine this. You got proof of the motherfucker that you live in this bitch, that you pay bills up in this bitch, that you pay rent up in this bitch, only for the government to tell you that there ain't absolutely motherfucking nothing that they can do about it. Because those motherfuckers are considered squatters. In the words of Jerry Live, this motherfucker done started in Denver, Colorado. It's only a matter of motherfucking when this shit starts happening every motherfucking where. What did Elon Musk say? And then they will come for our motherfucking homes?
No more money for you. It's lazy, you lazy. You lazy. No more money for you.
So now my question to Kamala. Yo, goofy ass was in charge of this motherfucking border motherfucking shit. But now that we got this goofy ass shit that's going to rapidly fucking grow, you expect for us to trust everything you motherfuckers say. Because I'm sorry, you and all your little blue motherfucking friends lied at that motherfucking that conviction. Y'all was at that convention, whatever the fuck that was. Lies upon lies upon lies, because what the fuck are y'all doing? What the fuck are y'all doing to help these motherfuckers that had to leave their goddamn motherfucking apartment? Where the fuck are they gonna go? And the crazy part about it is, the way that they seized this motherfucker, these motherfuckers have heavy artillery. So now my question is, how the fuck is those motherfuckers that has been living there for fucking years, how the fuck they supposed to fight back? Cause I don't know what the fuck Denver, Colorado problem is, but let this happen somewhere in motherfucking Michigan. Oh baby, we getting our leg back. Fuck is you talking about? But because our goofy ass motherfucking government done funded these motherfuckers to a grand fucking point that they can do shit like this with heavy fucking artillery, then on top of that shit, if the government is not doing an absolute nothing fucking thing to help these motherfuckers, or when this shit blows the fuck up, when y'all are not going to help us, if the government is not going to help us, then that give us the okay to defend ourselves, right? Because didn't y'all give us the freedom to carry? Or did y'all take that shit away from us? Just like y'all did fucking the fucking Hawaiians. So if it's okay for the Venezuelan gangs to ransack shit and get no kind of repercussion whatsoever motherfucking ever, then that gives us every motherfucking right. And when I say us, I mean us motherfucking Americans, even the motherfuckers that been here for fucking years. That give us the absolute K to motherfucking defend ourselves, because bitch, please. Bitch, please. I wish they motherfucking would.
We need our weed. I don't wear it, but we need it.
If I told you this was happening in 2024, would you believe me? Let me tell you how crazy this is. In Aurora, Colorado, there's a Venezuelan gang that has taken over 2 apartment buildings. I kid you not. The landowner has contacted the local authorities. They said there's nothing they can do about it. That's squatter laws, bro. I kid you not. Look this up. Number 2, he went to the FBI. They said there's nothing they can do. And he even went to the marshals, y'all. And this Venezuelan gang has taken over the apartment building. They're charging the tenants inside rent money like they're the landlords. Meanwhile, the real landlord can't get these people evicted. All the people that's leaving the apartment buildings, as soon as they leave, these Venezuelan gang members are just moving in more gang members to a point where they are taking over the building with guns. It's no more security there. Like, look this up right now. And this is exactly what I was talking about like 2 weeks ago. Oh, not even 2 weeks ago on a couple of my videos. This is what they want. Attack within. Y'all better stay safe. Y'all better stay safe. This is what they want. For the country to be attacked from within. Black people versus the brown people. Let them fight it out. You see what I'm saying? Y'all better stay safe. It's getting crazy out here. Because it's going to get to a point where it's going to start affecting you. You may not live in Aurora, Colorado, but the fact that it's happening, man, this is crazy. Y'all better stay safe. Man. I've been seeing videos about the same Venezuelan people be in the stores looking to kidnap people and child trafficking. It's going to shambles. And y'all telling me Trump ain't needed? And y'all telling me Trump ain't needed? Come on now. Go look this shit up. This shit ain't no joke, bro. They're literally securing the area with guns. They're not even like, it's crazy. It's getting crazy. Stay prepared. TTG. Time to go.
I told you America wasn't ready for the Latin American criminal. Right now, as we're speaking, there are 2 complexes in Aurora, Colorado that have been taken over by Venezuelan gang members, right? To the point where they told the landlord, bro, you come around here, man, we're going to take your life, we're going to take your family's life, right? Landlord's scared. Landlord go to local law enforcement and say, no, we could do about these squatters, because it's squatter laws, bro, right? He says, man, try to contact the FBI. FBI say, hey, my man, that ain't our problem, right? The Department of Homeland Security said, that ain't our problem, bro. The landlord is just like, yo, what the hell is going on? What do I do? Bro, these dudes are collecting rent on behalf of the landlord in the building. And every single time somebody moves out of one of the apartments, they're bringing in more Venezuelan migrants into it. Talking about they're patrolling the building with guns. Like, what? In America? No way. That shit, it sounds like something out of a movie, bro. No freaking way that's happening right now. Imagine being that landlord, bro. He probably calling the bank like, hey, yo, yeah, man, the Venezuelan migrants got your mortgage payment. It was the Venezuela who? You owe us that money. You better pay up, bro. There's nothing he could do about it either, man. Because if he try to do something about it, he's going to get locked up. Yo, I'm sorry. A lot of y'all don't like this, man. But if you're still convinced that the USA don't need a motherfucker like Trump, you gotta be fucking crazy, man. Trump is the only one that's gonna be aggressive enough, man. So come up with him and be like, all right, everybody get the fuck out, man. Kicking doors down and shit. Sending everybody over there, man. Deporting everybody. At this point, man, it's needed. Whether you like Trump or not, whether you're a Democrat, it don't matter what you are, man. Shit is getting fucking bad, man. And if you think it's not gonna affect you, just give it enough time. Give it enough time, man, because it's only starting.
Colorado, this is a public service announcement. I've been seeing this shit on the news for like 3 days and like little news clips that be sent to my email. Apparently, them Venezuelan people is posing as delivery people. Then they running in people's house. So far, I've seen somebody in Lakewood comment and somebody in the Denver area commented that they running in their house. Then they talking about they trying to snatch kids and shit. Y'all know school finna start back. Please start walking your kids to school. I don't know what type of shit y'all on. I don't give a fuck if you black, white, Mexican, Puerto Rican. If I see them fucking with one of y'all kids, I'm going to get up right then and there. And y'all better be prepared to do the same because I don't know what the fuck they got going on. Bitch, not only is y'all acting crazy in our country, bitch, y'all bring this shit to our front door. Y'all better be prepared because on my mama, I'm going to fuck one of their ass up. I ain't even going to bullshit with you. Bullshit ain't about nothing. Type of shit y'all on. So be prepared and stay on your motherfucker, man. Stay dangerous. That's all I can tell you because I am. Colorado, this.
So you guys keeping up with what's going on in Denver, Aurora, Colorado? I have friends there actually that are leaving. They hightailed it out of there. They're not taking the chance to see if it gets better. It only took 2 apartment complexes and 3 gun stores getting robbed and jewelry stores by these Venezuelan gangs who have now paired up with MS-13. And they're gone. They're not waiting around. The cops couldn't do anything. The FBI couldn't do anything. Homeland Security didn't do anything. You know, one of the complexes was taken back and condemned because it's inhabitable. And the people, the Venezuelan gang, was collecting money, the rent money, for the landlord, but not giving it to him. And there was nothing he could do about it. They just took over. Those are your sanctuary cities that you love so much. And you're mad at us, patriots, who are like, close the damn border. You know, they did rob 3 gun stores and a couple jewelry stores. And now the new thing is they're dressed up like Amazon workers and they're doing home invasions. So guys, be very careful because the closer we get to this election, if you're expecting an Amazon delivery, just leave it outside for a little bit. And if you have to open the door, really check your surroundings because they're bum rushing the doors. Just be very, 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 very careful. Dangerous times, guys. It's bad.
Out here doing in these different OMG, y'all see how these gangs out here doing in these different states across the country, y'all better stay safe, stay vigilant, protect yourself and your freaking family because these people, they don't care. They are not getting any sort of consequences for their actions. So you got to be ready to go. You got to be TTG, trained to go because it's go time. They brought them to this country to weaponize them to go against us. It's us against them. So y'all better get out all of that racial stuff and, you know, class, I'm this, I got that. You better get out that mindset. You better be prepared to protect yourself. That's the mindset you need to be in. If everybody would band together, a lot of this stuff wouldn't even be going on, to be honest with you. If people band together instead of thinking they better than one side and all of that, a lot of these people wouldn't be able to come here and take over this country like this. See, one thing about these rats, they don't like to lose. They sore losers. So they want to take as many people down with them as they can. And that's all they doing. All of this stuff been planned from the get-go, y'all. They are losing. They going against the people that's over them. So that should let you know something right there, that it's go season. And they using all of us as collateral damage. So I want y'all to just stay safe and take care of yourself. Because this stuff that's going on right now is very dangerous. So be cautious.
Okay, so I wanted to get footage of what's going on in Aurora, so I drove all the way down here. And let me just tell you, this apartment building is 4 minutes away from the VA and 3 minutes away from the University of Colorado's hospital down in Aurora. That is insane to me that it is that close. So I'm going to show you guys what's going on and give you a heads up in real time. Okay, so after this street, it's on the left hand side. Look, there's already cops there. Elm Grove Apartments. Oh my god, it's vacated. Parking lot is empty. There's one cop there. There was all kinds of shit here happening. One of the locals told me that the cops finally did put up this fence and kick everybody out, but that the gang was threatening to kill everybody if they didn't pay them a certain amount for their protection. And so that's all the information I have as of now. This place is abandoned, and it looks like either cops or security guards are on the other side securing the inside of the parking lot. So that's your update. So in today's news in Aurora, there you go. Lastly, the locals did tell me that there were 3 bodies recovered from that apartment complex. So be careful, y'all. Stay safe out there.
Gang violence at an apartment complex in Aurora. The video shows men entering an apartment building with several weapons and then busting down a door.
And all of this taking place at the apartments, which had become a crime hotspot in that city.
The video shows a group of men walking up a stairwell at the Edgett Lowry apartment complex in Aurora. All of them appear to be carrying rifles and handguns. Another video clip shows men forcing a door open. But what or who they were searching for, not clear. The video was shot in the building where Cindy and Edward Romero lived until today. They loaded up their stuff and moved out.
It's been a nightmare, and I can't wait to get out of here.
The couple's car and many others here were riddled with bullets after a shootout at the complex earlier this month. The Romeros say the trouble started when a large number of migrants began moving in. They had not been able to move out for different reasons.
We couldn't get any. We tried reaching out to the resources, but they told
Gang violence at an apartment complex in Aurora. The video shows men entering an apartment building with several weapons and then
We don't need to build a wall. This is a crisis of his own making. We're looking at military resources being focused again on the president's vanity project. This issue is about a vanity project for this president. Right. And it is a problem of his own making. Right. And listen, when I travel this country, folks have plenty enough problems that they need their president to focus on, instead of a wall that, by the way, because I was a prosecutor for many years, including the Attorney General of California, I specialize on transnational criminal organizations. Yeah. That wall ain't gonna stop them. No. Because we have a president of the United States who has created a fiction about a crisis at the border, and he has held up the United States government and its workers around his vanity project called a wall. And it's a distraction from the real issues. We are not facing a crisis The crisis we're facing is a crisis of leadership. That's the crisis. That's the crisis. And a wall won't cure that. And a wall won't cure that.
He talks about this wall. I always say, let me know how high it is. If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in the 30-foot ladder.
Woo! We are officially 1 hour into the show. Thank you all for being here. That was probably the longest introduction to a live stream you will ever witness. Actually, an entire hour from start to finish. Haven't said a word until just now. This was like, I felt like watching Apocalypto or something. Like I needed not say anything. There was nothing I could say to make the stream better. Me talking would have only made it like worse. It would have slowed down the action. There was this, like, magic happening there. There was magic in that intro. I was definitely doing an experiment right there. had the whole audience enthralled. It was because this shit is becoming Apocalypto out here. Like it's getting really, really base and savage out here, bro. Unbelievable savagery happening in America right now. And here's your latest words from Kamala, your VP, soon to be big time president.
I feel a great sense of duty and responsibility to those folks upon whose broad shoulders I stand. Dr. King, John Lewis, Dorothy Height, Bayard Rustin, A. Philip Randolph. So when I think about those heroes of the movement, they do guide me because their spirit and their work and their passion was about making our country better.
We over here getting invaded, getting terrorized, getting kicked out of apartments, getting kidnapped to never be seen again. There's probably a couple of families in barrels buried in the desert somewhere. And Kamala's sitting up there with Al Sharpton doing civil rights poetry. Will Kamala protect you? You know, we were talking about Jesse Waters yesterday and all the things you're not supposed to say about women. And I gotta one. If you notice, in this longest intro in YouTube history, you've never actually seen so many women so afraid of the same exact thing. Like it's a trend. And the black women in particular, you black girls really think y'all gonna fight the Venezuelan gangs. That is so fucking cute. You bitches are damn near adorable. It's adorable. Like Dora the Explorer adorable. Y'all really think y'all gonna fight off the immigrants, the Venezuelan migrants, the paramilitary gang members? You gonna shoot them with your 9? Your ex-boyfriend Rodney left a 9mm in your bedroom, and you're gonna go pew 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 with them? You got it all worked out, do you, Keisha? Oh no, Lordy. I know whose job it is. I know this is what Keisha really means. And this is the fucked up thing, because this is how it really works in real life. But all right. Combine Venezuelan migrant crisis with black mother privilege, and what do you think is supposed to happen?
I have black mother privilege. And I'm going to start breaking that down for y'all. Because there is a privilege for me as a black mother. I'm not going to have the same relationship. My sons adore me. My sons will put their life on the line in a New York minute over me. My sons will lose everything they have over me. Over me? It ain't happening. My sons will turn on their father over me. Over me? So when you ask me about my black sons, the relationship does not correlate the same to what I'm saying about black men.
Can you black mother privilege your way out of a Venezuelan crime wave? The world awaits the answer. Oh shit! You got a soundtrack to this break-in. This shit getting gully. Black mother privilege, black mother privilege, black mother privilege ain't stopping shit.
I'm out
Black
of this
mother
world,
privilege
not
ain't
your run of the
stopping
million.
shit.
My name is Spur, I'm the owner of the building. I'm a stoner.
One of these guys from Tren de Aragua, he's a gang leader. He's called the Cookie Monster because his name somewhat translates to cookie in Spanish, but he has quite the rap sheet: assault, shooting. Yet he and his gang have been able to somehow seize multiple apartment complexes.
Yo, having your city taken over by a guy called the Cookie Monster is like peak fucking what is that called? Apocalyptic. It's peak apocalypse right there, right? If I was gonna be like a post-apocalyptic warlord, Cookie Monster is actually not a bad name. Because on the one hand, it's monster, it's terrifying, but then there's Cookie, so it's like a little bit whimsical. He's probably like a charming guy, but like he'll chop your fingers off and feed them to you if you don't make the deal. Like I would be called the Cookie Monster after the post-apocalyptic crash. I mean the name's already taken, so I might have to go kill that guy. But still, as names go, it's not a bad name. C is for cookie.
Not one building, but complexes, like the entire thing, to run their crime ring. How does that happen, John?
Yo, that is wild. Rico says barbecue and Cookie Monster running the Western Hemisphere, bro. Bro, we living in a comic book now, man. We have officially hit comic book territory. There's like Sin City levels of violence going on here. We got outrageous characters. We are like one chemical spill away from an actual supervillain, bro. All we need is one more train to tip over in the wrong part of town, and we're gonna have our first actual supervillain, bro. This shit is getting so outrageously lit. It's like it's terrifying and exhilarating all at the same time. This is a weird place to be in. It's like being on a roller coaster, but nobody has a strapped-on seatbelt and no crossbar or nothing. We're just riding the shit out of this motherfucker.
It really happens because I think a lot of the city leaders are just complicit. They're allowing this sanctuary just to come into these areas, and they don't want to push back against it. Sanctuary policy is a state policy here in Colorado. Aurora itself, through the Aurora City Council, has kind of pushed back on it, but we're still seeing a lot of leaders try to ignore it and not let the public know exactly what's going on. Many of these are not average asylum seekers that are coming in. Many of them cannot even claim asylum.
No, some of them are actual Cookie Monsters, bro. And yes, Girl Scout cookies are not safe. If you have daughters, if you have sisters, wives, you got to protect their Girl Scout cookies, bro. I promise you, just like in Europe, the cookies are at risk, bro. The cookies are at risk. They will be snatching cookies, all right? His name is Cookie Monster. You think he's not against snatching some cookies, bro? You think the Cookie Monster won't orchestrate a cookie thieving ring? Or think about it. Organized cookie theft. First it happened in Europe. Now it's going to happen in America. Organized cookie rings. I'm telling you, the Cookie Monster is about to red pill the shit out of an entire blue enclave. And it still won't take it. They won't learn. They won't learn. Even when all of their daughters have been kidnapped by the Cookie Monster, they will not learn. Because like I said, Europe, I mean, you know, parts of England, they've been having a cookie crisis, if you want to call it that, for a while now. They call it a grooming gang, but you know, we call it cookies over here. And the Europeans have just been quietly suffering all the cookie monstering over in Europe. And only recently did the people finally have enough. Like, look, bro, we're running out of fucking cookies, all right? Only recently did the Europeans say we're running out of cookies, all right? It's wild how many cookies you guys lost, right? You were letting these Muslims just snatch cookie after cookie after cookie, and you did nothing. This whole time, nothing happened. And then, you know, the whole thing with those girls at the Taylor Swift studio. It's like a Taylor Swift dance studio, and this one African immigrant. He's a descendant of African immigrants, right? So he's like naturalized, born there probably. And he started cutting the cookies up. This motherfucker went and decided, I don't even want to snatch the cookies. I just want to cut them. What kind of monster, what kind of savage just goes out and starts cutting up little cookies? And so finally, all of Europe seemed to erupt roughly at the same time. But the oddest thing happened. The European government won't let the European citizens defend their cookies, bro. The European government will not let the European citizens defend their cookies. And now we're seeing this happen in America. We're seeing this come to America. Denver, Colorado, Aurora, Colorado is actually the test case for America's cookie defense. Are we going to stand up and fight back against the cookie monster? Are we going to protect our own American cookies? Are we going to stand up and defend our American Girl Scout cookies? Or are we going to let the cookie monster set up his organized cookie theft ring? Because I promise you, that's what happens next. All the passport bros, they don't really like to talk about this side of the passport game. But when you go down there and you go into the areas where the girls are like, you know, professional cookie dealers, that's an organized cookie distribution area. And they will bring organized cookie distribution to America. The cookie monster is just the beginning. It's gonna happen. I promise you it's gonna happen. Maybe that's how we keep the passport bros in America. Oh, you know what? Never mind. That was too dark.
And, you know, unfortunately, there is this mix of criminal element which contains groups like the transnational criminal organization Tren de Aragua.
Oh, yeah. Let me show you this here. Somebody was talking about Venezuelan gang members dressing up as like delivery people, Amazon workers and whatnot, and then robbing the house. You mean to tell me they saw the Ring camera and they didn't turn away? That is amazing. You would think the Ring camera would actually stop people from committing crimes, but no, they saw the Ring camera and they just kept on going like it wasn't even there. That's wild. That Ring camera didn't do anything. Oh man, you see, this is why I stopped with the cookie thing, because I know if I kept going, I would unleash a weird tirade of cookie jokes in the chat. Oprah says, "You get a cookie, you get a cookie, everybody gets a cookie." Oh fucking hell, man. We gotta stand up. We gotta do something about this cookie monster thing, bro. I promise you, this is only the beginning. The cookie monster thing only gets worse after this, bro. Like the video, people. Throw $1 in the hat. Like, share, and subscribe. I don't know if anybody else is talking about this like this right now. I don't know if there's anybody else on YouTube warning about the upcoming cookie crisis in America.
Nigga, the Venezuelans is taking over.
Support the stream, people.
They just jacked them?
I need about $40 worth of cookies. I need some help here. Support the stream. I'm trying to go buy me some cookies later. All this talk of cookies got me hungry.
Bro, damn, they done made a mess and shit.
Nigga, y'all are on bullshit out here. That is on bullshit.
Oh, shit. What the? Yeah, they're tripping. Nigga, they cracking off in the air and everything. They driving over the... Nigga, we almost just got hit.
And I think we're gonna open up a panel in just a hot minute too. So do remember, you got to feed the panel. You got to keep the panel well fed, hydrated, and all that. It's hot outside. You got to keep the niggas hydrated.
Bro, these niggas is on bullshit.
And I noticed in the chat there was talk of the black gangs standing up, the black gangs doing something. I heard whispers. I heard rumors of the black gangs standing up to the Venezuelan criminal organizations, and no, I have zero faith in anything like that being possible. I don't think most people really understand this, but the vast majority of what people would consider black gangs don't really have much organization outside of the jails. Like in the very, very policed environment that is prison, there is a lot of organization with black gangs, right? But once you get out into the street, the organization and the discipline drops off dramatically. And that very organization and discipline are the exact tools you would need to, motivate your fighting force. You can't have a fighting force because you need a fighting force. You can't, the deacons of defense aren't going to do this job. And honestly, the kinds of people that you're most likely going to encounter are not the equivalent of American street criminals. We're talking about paramilitary criminal organizations, effectively. These motherfuckers had barrels of gasoline that was recovered from an apartment that they took over. Why would they have barrels of gasoline? Because they sell black market gasoline. Do you understand the levels of planning, the logistical complications to even attempt something like that? And the boldness to sell it out of basically an apartment building. Niggas not ready, bro. Niggas not ready.
Oh no, niggas ain't ready, man. The sophistication that you are asking for the black man, gangland tactics, pretty much died in the early '80s when you actually had dudes that served in the military or some type of aspects of military or been in war. That aspect has been long gone. So yeah, niggas is fucked.
Dirty folks. Dave, what's going on? We got a full panel right now. Welcome to the show, y'all. What say you, man? What say you, man? Because I say the black gangs can't do it.
Good morning to the Fallback Boys, man. It's good to see y'all again today, man. Y'all was on some shit yesterday. Y'all crazy. But new day,
Bro, see, you shouldn't even have said nothing, man. Now I remembered I had to kill you yesterday. I wasn't even thinking about you. Go ahead, man. God damn it,
Yeah,
Dave.
we got
Don't
new
start.
issues now.
I'm fighting Venezuelans and shit.
Shit happened here in Chicago, over East or whatever. So, this is here's the main thing. I don't think that it's gonna be a head up thing. Like, you know, um, the last thing any of the authorities want in this country is a reason for Black people's organizations on these streets to stop warring with each other to deal with an external force. So it'll go to a certain extent, but they gonna get their call to say, hey, you're doing something, we ain't trying to deal with these repercussions. So I'm not really concerned. However, I'm pretty sure that there are certain people, on a certain part of town right now that, they they gonna deal with, they dealing with some shit. But on a major level, you know, um, I'm not looking at this as a gonna be an all out confrontation between different races of gangs. I don't see that happening. Because that is totally not in the best interest of the powers that be, because that will kind of do a reverse of what's been going on as far as splits. And then the second part is, when it comes to I'm trying to word all this right, when it comes to the money aspect, that's not good for business, if it crosses along racial lines, because you're dealing with loss of revenue. So at some point in time, maybe really soon, the word gonna be put out like, yo, here's your boundaries of the limits of what you're gonna be able to do and everything like that. Because at the end of the day, all this shit stops with the flick of the switch from the alphabet boys. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm gonna pause my comments there to pick up later.
And I'm gonna get it to you in 1 second, dirty folks. I want to give a shout out to my man Mike with the $5 Cash App. Thank y'all so much for supporting the stream. Support all the panelists too. I got other streamers going on right now. Support the show. Thank you so much, my man. He dropped the question, but I want to thank him for the donation.
Count that money, man. Count that fucking money, man. Count the money.
Mike asked, and I guess this is in relation to what I was talking about in Europe and the cookie crisis over there in Europe. And he asked, what future event will cause riots here? I don't know, because it's hard to really pinpoint something like that, because there have been several cookie attacks by migrants, right? Several high profile cases, right? Illegal immigrants have killed and cookie cut a lot of people over the last few years, and the news media doesn't let these stories go national, for one, and they don't do all the editorializing. They don't try to fan the emotional flames of these events the way like a George Floyd or a Breonna Taylor was. And so I don't know what it's going to take, but I do imagine something will happen at some point, but it's hard to know what and why and how. It's just one of these unpredictable tinderbox kind of things. Like, I don't know what it's going to do, but I know it's going to do it. Something's got to happen. But dirty folks, get in here, man. I wanted to ask y'all about this gang thing, man. Well, people are calling for like the black gangs. What are the black women going to do? Because I don't think the black gangs really got it.
You got a lot of Chicago going on the panel. I'm gonna fall back. I'm gonna let them be great. To answer your question though, this isn't the 1990s black gang. This isn't the Biden
1980s. 1980s was when y'all was in y'all glow. I'll give y'all that. The 90s, that's when y'all start fucking up in the city of Chicago. But go ahead, Dirty.
I mean, you can take it over. All I'm saying is there's no hierarchy. Nobody goes to meetings. There's no more shooting range mandatory classes. Um, I don't really care anymore. I know the boys out east gonna take care of they thing because all they do is shoot and they good at ambushes. They don't really do shootouts. They do ambushes. They find out where you at and you will never come out the building because Chicago only has like a 24% conviction rate on murder. So niggas don't care about shooting out here. So I'm pretty sure they'll handle it like they handled it when the migrants hit that old man in Roseland. Plus these migrants kind of scary.
So let me raise this other issue, and I'm just thinking about the geography of it all, and I would argue a place like Aurora, Colorado, has a minimal black population, and therefore an even less of a black crime issue. Like, so black gangs in a place like that are probably not even a real thing. Like, and maybe some neighborhood level shit, but ain't nobody really popping like that.
Oh, they got Bloods and Crips out there, bro. Now, don't get it twisted. Them ain't what y'all think it is.
That shit ain't real. Look,
I mean, it's starting to look like it ain't real. Where the Bloods and Crips then? That's the next question.
That shit ain't real. The only place real Bloods and Crips are Cali and maybe Las Vegas, because a lot of people from Cali move to Las Vegas. And I would argue that the GD Vice Lord thing is a Midwest thing, like Chicago, Northwest Indiana, Indianapolis, because a lot of niggas Chicago go down there. Maybe St. Louis, but St. Louis is so cracked out, it's like a ghost town. But people don't have the passion for things that don't create. Like, I don't think gangs in New York are real. I don't think New York Bloods and GDs are real. They cliquish.
Hey, them Black Kings up there real though.
I can't speak on what the Mexicans do, but I just really don't. The question is, and this is where I give Chicago the nod. Aurora is a place where you go to have mixed babies. Black dudes from Detroit go to find a white girl, have mixed babies. And you saw how many light-skinned men were on those videos, how many dark-skinned women. Dark-skinned women ain't getting no dick. Let's see if fucking a white boy, because black boys don't want them out there in Colorado. When you have a culture of lawlessness in Chicago and to an extent Detroit, even though Detroit getting taken over by Asians, but the Asians not violent, they just buying the real estate. When you have a culture of lawlessness, then when lawlessness comes to you, you be like, oh, it's Thursday.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think Colorado had, they've been laid back way too long. No guns. First one with good weed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, let me jump in there. Peace to the panel. Everybody on there, Dirty Folks, Mr. O, Hood. You guys know, and I make it no secret. I recently retired from law enforcement, and one of the areas I specialized in is quote unquote gangs. And to speak to what Dirty was saying, he's absolutely right. There is no hierarchy. In places like Chicago, you still have your GDs and vice lords and four corner hustlers and stuff, but because of what happened in the 90s with the crime bill, which I'm going to tie that into what's going to happen shortly. Due to the crime bill, a lot of that hierarchy was taken out, and a lot of the gangs, you still have the names of like the GDs and stuff, but for the most part, most of those gangs really got decentralized to neighborhood cliques. It's like you got guys from one block area really clicking up with others just so they can try to get money on the streets. And that's what you have. They're cliques, and those cliques are far more porous than the gangs of the 80s and the 90s. So as far as all of them guys uniting up, I really don't see that. That being said, with this migrant situation, this is the setup. This is what Democrats do. They'll employ certain groups to create mayhem right before elections, such as Antifa,
Yeah.
which Antifa and BLM, which is basically the political wing of Antifa. If you really look at it, they employ these groups to create mayhem and discord for the Democrats, which is the problem that the Democrats then have a solution for once they get in the office. We not only see this here, we see this in places like Jamaica, Belize, and other Caribbean countries. So what they're going to do to address this problem, should they get in office, they are going to come up with another crime bill. I always call it the crime bill 2.0, to fix that problem that they cause. And this is what Democrats do. They'll employ certain groups to be paid mayhem makers, and then they'll, once they get in office, then they'll go about fixing that problem. Because if you notice, you don't really hear from Antifa anymore because they pretty much gave Antifa Minnesota and Oregon, and we see what that's looking like. With BLM, they paid them off so they can go buy a bunch of houses and stuff, and kind of fade off into the yonder with their money that they earned from the Democrats.
Yeah, nice little luxurious mansions and stuff in California after they destroyed
Yeah,
my city of Chicago. Yeah. Yeah, Patrice
yeah.
Cullors, that little lesbian bitch, man. Yep.
Yep. This is what I seen before. Back during the leading up to the 2020 elections, when they had those mask mandates. And I used to work in intelligence in the military. I explained it to military leaders and others that those masks, we already know that it's been medically proven that those masks don't stop the spread of the bug. But what those masks do effectively is mask the identification through biometrics and others of the people who are behind causing the mayhem. That's all those masks were for. Now, what they're doing with the Venezuelans and the others coming across their border and stuff, for the main mayhem makers, the people that they're really funding to create the mayhem, um, they're illegal immigrants. They know that for the people that they want to get in that will become voters, that's fine. But for the main mayhem makers, they know that that these people really can't be identified all that much by local law enforcement. And what they'll hide behind is deporting them out of the country, or just simply relocating them somewhere to where they're out of the way. Watch what I'm saying, because you're going to see it all in play now that you know what I'm talking about. This is their strategy. So this is what we're going to see
You know the
post
thing though,
election.
you can't simply, Royce, I'm sorry, you can't simply deport these people though. I think that's what's kind of being established right
How
now,
come?
because they have weapons. You can't simply deport an armed group. It's not easy.
And that's going to
Man,
be the
shit,
issue.
bullshit. International Guard. What the fuck they doing, bro? Hey, what's the
But hold
privatized
on,
military?
hold on. Slow down and think this through. Slow down and think this through. Armed American soldiers on streets of America shooting it out with brown gangs.
Yeah, that's going to cause a whole different
That they
problem.
did before, and the going against the Alamo they did before in the Spanish American War. I mean, history repeats itself. So what's the problem? I
I
mean,
think
shit.
you're talking
But
fast and not thinking it
we're a
all the way
long way
through.
from that.
Yeah,
We're a
bro.
long way from that, and they have a lot of legislation in place, such as the Criminal Omnibus Act, different terrorism and gang legislation, anti-gang legislation, which they'll be able to deal with that. If you look at how the legislation is written up, they'll be able to deal with that. But another issue that we're going to be looking at is you're going to actually see a further dumbing down of the population because the a lot of the education system, number one, is focused on indoctrination rather than education, and number two, you're dealing with people who um, a new population who would rather be on the streets making money the street way than sitting up in a classroom. So you're going to have a population that's going to be even more illiterate than the current population is, and they're going to be more criminally motivated, which is going to feed into the prison to uh, school to prison pipeline, and that's going to fund a lot of. You're going to see a big expanse of correctional institutions to house these people. And as far as this housing that Kamala Harris is talking about, this $25,000 for housing, and this talk of building housing, all that is projects. So you're going to see more public housing being built, projects, and that's going to be where they're going to try to contain a lot of that crime in those places outside of the cities to where they're too far to get to easily from public transportation. We're going to see another Ford Heights.
Let me stop
And
you a little bit.
Romulus.
Let me throw something in this.
Yeah.
It seems to me that a nation that has the stomach to fight back against this type of invasive behavior is also a nation that wouldn't allow it in the first place, right? And I don't know that we actually have the stomach to do the things that are being asked of us at this point. That's what I'm kind of worried about. So, like,
certainly.
I don't know if we even get to a lot of the implementation you're even talking about, because here's the problem. In a place like in Denver and Aurora, Colorado, the problem is obvious, right? But the local city government, instead of addressing the problem as such, like we have these criminal gangs taking over actual territory in the state on the state level, we have to actually target these individuals, decapitate the organization, all the traditional moves you would make, right? Instead of approaching it like that, they said we shut the building down for code violations.
Right.
You realize how
Great point.
demoralizing that is. You are not a fighter. You're not built to win against this type of problem.
Yeah. And
I
go ahead.
just wanted to make a comment because this all sounds good, but when you look at how, like, this ain't the first new gang that hit, America or anything like that. I think that what will happen first off is that if you think the Mexican gangs are going to allow um, a preeminence of anybody else in the Hispanic community, you got a big problem. The second part is that um, what the main thing is that the vouchers to house are providing a little bit more than what Section 8 would provide. So that will be the real issue as far as pushing Black people out. Now, I'm saying this with a grain of salt because some of the things that have happened in certain parts of Chicago recently that I ain't saying, because I ain't involved in none of this. I ain't in none of that. But it's everybody got cousins and all the other type of shit. But the fact of the matter is that if you think that the Mexican cartels is going to allow somebody else to make shit hot when they got shit going on as far as money is concerned, you got another thing coming. The second part is that the one thing that authorities do not want is an impetus for the African American groups to say, hey, all right, I know we beefing with each other, but we got bigger fish to fry. They don't want any of that shit to happen.
Let me stop you right there. Let me dissect these 2 points really briefly, Dave. One, So you're talking about the cartels and whatever Latin American criminal organizations, right? So you're basically betting on one wolf pack against the other wolf pack, and that's an odd argument for the sheeps to be having.
Who's the sheep?
America, you. Yeah, because you're framing our salvation as, well, these other groups of Latin American criminals won't let that happen. Like, I'm supposed to feel good about, nigga, what the fuck are you even saying? Like, no, that shit's insane to think of it that way. No, and you're not wrong in that there's ethnic competition between the Latin gangs, but that's not going to help the problem in America. It doesn't make it better to have what? So the cartels are just going to take over the Cookie Monster business? Like,
This is
no,
why Billy
no,
got to
nigga.
die first,
No,
bro. This is
I
why
know,
Billy
I
dies
know,
first.
bro. Like, I know, cause
eh,
goddamn, Dave. And the second of all, you
That
have
wasn't
too
me.
much
That
faith.
wasn't me.
I know, but I'm saying you
You
have
just
too
so
much
used to
faith.
saying me.
You have Dave. You have too much faith in the black gang thing. Like the
No, I'm
idea of
not
the
banking
black
on it.
gangs coming together to achieve anything. Even if we came together, it's going to be a drop in the bucket of things we need to do.
well, too, when
I
you
don't
look at the situation with the Venezuelans and the Mexicans, you have to understand that even though Mexico is where a lot of the cocaine and stuff comes from, you have to remember where a lot of the cocaine is produced in places like Colombia, Venezuela, so forth and so on. So if anything, we're going to see a lot of conglomerations between and cooperation between the Mexicans and the Venezuelans
What?
as far as the drug trade. You're going to
Yeah,
see it.
don't be disappointed, bro. That's how it works because it's
You're
easier to
going to
make
see it.
money than to make war, and they're gonna get tired of
That
killing each other
Y'all,
at some point.
So the price of the
that's
bridges went
how
down. That's what you're trying to
that
say.
don't.
that's how China moves. Rather
Okay.
than wage war on their targets, what they do is they come with money and agreements, and they that's how they fight economic wars and make alliances through money rather than go out there like America and basically strong arm stuff like, hey, we gonna send these missiles at you if you don't do what we say. That's how the Chinese move, and the Mexicans are already doing that with the Latin Kings on the north and the south side of Chicago. Because if you look at Latin Kings on the north side, those are Puerto Ricans and other groups. Those aren't Mexicans. That's why you have two different Latin King crowns. One has
Yep.
5 points, one has 6 points,
Yep.
and that'll tell you more or less which group that is. Now, what the cartels did in Chicago on the north side of Chicago is they start incorporating the Latin Kings on the north side to handle cartel business on the north side, which is why you're starting to see a lot more shootings and kick doors on the north side of Chicago. And this was pre the Venezuelan influx. That's because the cartel is using those groups to handle business, and they're going to do the same with the Venezuelans. Mark my words.
Donate to the show, people. Like, share, and subscribe. We are talking about the Venezuelan gang takeover happening in Colorado, likely coming to a city near you. There seems to be some hope and faith that the great black collective will come together and fight back the hordes of South American criminal gangs. And I think it's so cute that people believe that. It's fucking adorable that people believe in that.
That's
It's not just you. There was, it's not just you. You're not the only
rephrasing
person
what
to
I'm
believe
saying.
these things.
You're rephrasing what I'm saying, and that's not what I said. What
We'll
I'm
say
saying.
it again.
All right, here's what I'm saying again, and I'm going to direct this to like get a confirmation from the former law enforcement guy here. So it's similar to the situation when the previous election when Trump was like, "Yo, we're gonna put the National Guard on the streets of Chicago to deal with the African American crime and all of that." I wholeheartedly believe Trump wanted to do that. But somebody called him up and told him, like, look, that is not what you want to do because you have a cross section of working people who, if you push to a certain limit, you're just going to add to the ranks of people ranks to what you thought you already had. It's just going to swell, which is the same thing. The number one thing you have to understand here is money controls everything. And the one that you have to understand, if that shit was going to happen, it would have already happened with what we had here. But you got to understand, the cartels were literally just saying, look, it doesn't make sense to destroy our business going to war. And now you have a new group that doesn't, I don't know if they understand all of these different political different things, but what you can count on is two things. Money is going to rule out, which means that all that shit's gonna have to have a sit down, pretty much, to where it's like, look, man, all of this shit is bad for business.
Wait.
And
You're
to
still
add
gonna
a
be a
point
slave. In this situation, you're gonna be a slave, or I'm gonna have to kill you so I can go to war. Look, as a person who goes
Look,
out,
nigga, why you keep saying you gonna kill me?
Bro, Dave, because you don't hear what you're
Like, real
saying, and
talk,
you don't
like,
understand.
like,
No,
I'm
Dave,
starting to, like, we
you
gotta
don't
move
understand.
30,
We're at
like,
Dave.
I wasn't
It's
even talking to you, man. That was a yesterday shit, but you bringing that shit over to a whole
you started out with that shit, bro. You literally started out with it.
Hey,
You
Dave
first
don't
thing
like
out your
that
Oh
mouth.
shit,
no,
Hey,
man.
you
that's it.
niggas killed me
Fallback
yesterday.
boys. You know that's y'all new name, man. When y'all group
I don't
together.
even care about that. I don't even talk about that. I mean, you literally started out reminding us that we had the whole Kill Dave thing yesterday, bro. And we saying it as a joke, but you don't get it. You don't get it.
Nah,
The
I don't
ideas
play
that
Yeah,
you
we're
around.
put
gonna turn this
forward.
into
I
Weekend
don't
at
play
Days.
around with motherfuckers saying
No,
they
the
gonna do
Dave,
that.
let me explain it to you
Ain't
because
shit
it's
that
not a
ain't never
personal thing. We just making jokes, obviously. But
don't talk to me like that.
the
I don't trust
idea,
you about
bro,
that.
is that you're saying things that would make our position so impossible that we would have to fight our way out no matter what. And so it's like, well, if we got to fight our way, and you're the reason, you're the one making us have to fight so hard. Well, we got to fight you first. So like, obviously, that's how things normally work. And so like when dirty folks said like, listen, we got to have to kill you so we can go to war. That's the position
Y'all just
a
gonna
lot
keep
of
saying
America is in. No, that's the position a lot of America is in. That's the position a lot of right-wing conservative America's feeling. Like, I'd actually have to go to war with my own government in order to go to war with the people who I need to go to war with.
Well,
how you
to back away from that point
phrasing it
to
like you
what
know.
Dave was saying, in addition to what Dave was saying about the National Guard, being a person who was in the National Guard for 20 years, what I understand about mobilizing the National Guard, it takes an act of Congress, which um, Trump had. He had an oppositional Congress to where he couldn't get that done, and I think the same thing is going to happen because that's an act of martial law, and many of the people in Congress are real comfortable in their positions, and they know that if they did something like that, they're going to pay a political price that
but they
they
did
don't want to pay.
something like that. It was
Yeah, they did
called
it before and they paid
it
a
was
price.
no. I got this. They did something like that, bro. They called it a mandate. The COVID mandate was that. I couldn't go to concerts. They wouldn't see a card. I can't go in stores. It was a curfew. Look, they did that at the same time.
Liberals
Like they
mostly
told
did
Trump,
that.
huh?
Liberals mostly did that. Yeah.
Right. The same liberals, when Donald Trump, to be more accurate, when Donald
Yep.
Trump offered the National Guard to Chicago, Lori
Yep.
Lightfoot said, "Not my
I was
state."
just about to say that, Dirty. Yeah,
And
that baggy little lesbian
soon as
bitch.
Trump
Boy.
got out of there, Lori Lightfoot called JB Pricks and said, "Yo, could you get the state police up here?"
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Well, the thing with that too, which plays into what I said, because Lori Lightfoot is what she's a political person, and she looked at it as this is not going to be good for me politically. You're going to have that opposition in different places around the country because they look at that as a political risk that they don't want to take. That being
It's
said,
That's like saying Brandon Johnson taking all these migrants and housing them in, giving them X amount of money. If he doesn't do it, it makes him look bad. Despite the fact, even with this whole migrant crisis, all the other things he's been doing, he's been going down with ratings. So
again,
how?
I want to say something a tad bit drastic, but I want to just draw out the stark realities of things, right? And this is the difference between the networking and the practical abilities of like the left wing's organizations versus the right wing. And the right wing is kind of been attacked for like not being, aggressive. The right wing hasn't stopped anything, hasn't conserved anything. And the problem is this. Let's say you have people try to stop the situation in Colorado, right? You start to arrest these people, you want to segregate them or whatever, do all the hard-nosed criminal justice things against these people. Then you're going to have a crop of lawyers pop up out of nowhere and say, wait, they have rights. You have to actually protect their rights. And so now the whole process of attacking this criminal problem gets slowed up by some weird legal issue, right? Now, legally speaking, there's not much you can do, right? But realistically speaking, those lawyers need to be harassed until they take another case. You see where I'm going? Like, I don't think the country is ready for that level of engagement, because that is the kind of thing that's required. It's not just you arrest the criminals, you harass their supporters who wear suits and ties. You harass the people who show up to rallies and whatnot, right? Because that's really the target that has to be addressed as well. It's not going to happen. These kinds of problems don't get addressed because there's like armies of regular civilians who will make you politically impotent, like the Trump situation you were talking about. Trump is ready to send the National Guard in, but no, we can't send the National Guard in because some lesbian in a suit says we can't do it. Helicopter rides, nigga. Helicopter rides.
Yo, let me jump in here. What up, Hood? What up, Dirty? What up? I'm listening to this conversation and I realize, man, niggas are weak. Weak as hell.
I'm including you. I've been saying that about y'all
yeah,
all the
we
time.
Hold on. Let me finish, man. Hold on. Let me finish, man. This idea that some black gang is going to do something, nigga, black gangs don't kill nothing but other black people. They're going to bow down to the Mexicans and Venezuelans like they did in motherfucking California. That's number one. Niggas
I
stop
won't say,
dreaming. All right?
I don't know about
The
that,
only
but
way,
Chicago niggas
hey, I know. You live in a dream world with the rest of the Americans. I know. Listen, the only way out of this is through bloodshed. We need to stop pretending. We ain't gonna kumbaya our way out of this. And another way out of this is you gotta stop with all that female talk, racism, and white supremacy, and understand that the only way out of this for Americans and Black Americans is to grab their guns with the white Americans that's ready to get it in and get it in. That's it. All that other shit y'all talking about, it sounds soft.
Here's my problem.
It's soft.
Here's my problem with all the
feds talking about revolution.
Here's my problem with all the militant talk, right? And all of the black empire shit and all that, right? The we is always another group of men.
It's indictment talk.
That too. But the we is always another group of men. The gang's gonna do it. It's always another group. It's never like I'm gonna grab my gun and three friends and the four of us gonna be back to back and we gonna hold down this corner. Because that's how gangs took over turf, and that's how the Venezuelans are taking over turf. Right? The rules don't change. Niggas just got softer because they listen to girls with clothes on. Nobody wants to pull the rifle, but everybody want to talk about somebody gonna pull the rifle.
You know what you realize as you age and you accept certain hard truths. It's like in the Matrix when Keanu was trying to bend the spoon, and the kid told him, "Don't try to bend the spoon. Realize there is no spoon, right? There are no rules, bro." Like to tell you the truth, it's like what you're willing to do and what you can get away with. But there really are no rules, especially when you come to like dire circumstances like these. It feels like America's approaching a point where there are no rules. And when there are no rules, you do whatever you have to do.
Are you calling for anarchy? Hood
I'm not
services and
calling
hood.
for anything. I am describing the temperature and the climate of the current situation. I do not call. I have no prescription for any such things.
Yo, hood, niggas don't understand when the situation is getting dire. They don't understand it. They still think the same rules apply. They still think the white man's coming to save them. That's the irony in all this.
I don't know. You tell me.
They believe a man's coming to save them, but it can't be their son. Remember that
Yeah, no
woman in
one's coming to
Baltimore?
save us.
You remember that woman?
CMB, nigga, we all we got.
I mean, like, nigga, this ain't nothing new.
Remember in Baltimore, there was a strong, fat black single mama, and her son was protesting, and she ran out there and snatched his hood off and beat him
She
up.
was like mom of the month right there. I remember that.
And then 6 weeks later, she went on a 6-week press tour. 6 weeks later, CPS locked her up. They paraded her around like, yeah, don't let your son be a man. And then as soon as she got off that little Good Morning America press run, they locked her up.
That's what you get for trying to make. Well, she ain't try it, but that's what you get for being famous. Not everybody's ready for the spotlight. You didn't want a spotlight on you, sweetie. Your life was fucked up. You should have just stayed quiet and let that boy run the street.
And he wasn't even doing. He was peacefully protesting. He was doing this American thing. The whole thing is that's what comes down to, right? The black mother privileges. I want my son to protect me, but he can't protect anything else. And then when it's time to protect, like, yo, anybody but my son. We need an army, but I don't want my son to go to service. We need somebody to get these boys off the street, but I don't want my baby ain't never hurt nobody. But he still got smoked that baby part.
Play a hood.
Shout out to DGS because he mentioned that before with these so-called black militants that black female militants that wanted a revolution. His response to that was, okay, raise your son up to do that, to fight that war, and you send your son first. So yeah, Dirty is 100%.
And you know what's crazy about that? And this is again, this is what I was talking about, explaining certain things to my daughter the other day, and I had this point in the conversation where the idea of war comes up. Like, women vote, but women don't fight war, but they vote to send men to war. This is why I don't think women should be voting, right? And so and then I tell my daughter, like, do you know that some men actually love war? Like, a lot of men actually love the idea of war, and she's like shocked at the concept of it. And what you just said about raising your son up to go off and fight a war, if you would have pitched that argument to certain men, they would do it. And it wouldn't even be that hard to think about, because everybody understands your country needs soldiers, your group needs warriors, and the guys can get that fundamentally
all the time. White guys do it all the time.
I've seen it. Yes. You see the guys with their little sons with the pistols at the range.
I've served with guys that are like 4th generation Army, and that was the thing in their family. That's what they do. They go to the Army and they serve. They do time in the Army because it's an act of patriotism to them. And the first thing they'll tell you, my dad did it, my grandpa did it, my great grandpa did it, and they can actually point to the different men in their family that have fought and a lot of times died in wars. So, but
it's a rite of passage. That's the rite of fucking passage.
Exactly.
No such thing in female culture.
You're not going to see that out of Keisha, especially nowadays.
Keisha,
yes, you will. Yes, you will.
It's not really a thing in female culture. Like, women don't have a history. Oh, my grandfather served in the Revolution. No, my grandmother served in the Revolutionary
they do.
War.
In the Latino black culture here in Chicago, the gang culture is our by proxy paramilitary. We got not only great grandfathers that served in the streets, grandfathers that served in the streets.
I'll grant you that, but that's not the same argument, though. I'm saying that's the true thing. Well, because serving in the gang is not the same as being generations in a military. One, the American military has a 100 or so year history, so we've got multiple generations, like people who have relatives going back to the Civil War, some going back to the Revolutionary. Like, believe it or not, there are people in this country who can trace their lineage back to some poor guy who fought next to George Washington or some shit like that. And you can't compare that to my grandfather was an OG Crip.
And additionally, you, Mr. O, you brought up the Hispanics. You have to remember that what are the Hispanics counted as in this country? More likely than not, and unless they're from the Caribbean, of Africanoid phenotype, they're considered to be white people. So they would
Yeah, but I
fall
already
in
know.
that category of white
I
people.
know since 1930 they've been fighting to try to get to beat white again, so I understand that.
I
But
mean,
since they
it's
are
look,
amongst the colors now, since they fake one of us, I had to include them too. You know what I'm saying, for DI
now you
purposes.
really don't have to include them. You really don't. I'm not gonna act like we wasn't shooting at the Latin Kings on Avenue O and they wasn't shooting at us on 26 in California. I'm not gonna act like that didn't happen. Look, y'all, every man but me. Look, this is why I need to be tribal warlord. Y'all need to be slaves, bro. I'm just
Dirty niggas is soft, bro. Don't want to admit the truth. Over
Bro,
here
it's
with all this black
terrifying.
and brown, with all this black and brown coalition, fake women babble bullshit. These people are the enemy and have been. Stop pretending.
look, man, and I look. Here's the thing: you have allies. The people that are your allies are the ones y'all hate the most. Because everybody keeps saying you're waiting for the white man to come save you, which will make you them your ally. Keisha's your op. Hector's your op. Well, heck, no, Hector to connect. I'm not going to front because I go
I was
outside,
about
right?
to say, man, like,
Because
geez.
I ain't going to front. When I go outside, bro, every time I holler at Hector, they offer me 2 kilos. I'm like, you don't even know me.
You know what's funny about that? Black folk are gonna have to like get really, really racially particular about the Latinos we be racist to. Like, all right, Puerto Ricans, I
See,
guess
gotta get that
Dominicans, they get it passed, right? But the other ones, the darker brown ones, we got to start looking at them a little bit more suspect.
Every time I go
You talking about the
outside, man.
Belizeans?
All of
Look,
them right now, because you know Puerto Rico is basically America. That's like low key the 51st state, but we're not gonna let y'all have no voting rights. But
right.
Dominican
But y'all keep
Republic, it's a bunch of Dominicans all over the country. They don't really be trying to do nothing crazy. They drive trucks and make food and shit.
saying with
But the rest
Jamaican
of them,
too.
it's just a little bit aggressive with the rest of them.
Look, at the end of the day, man, I've met dudes from Venezuela and Colombia at parties. They be like, "Yo, you cool as shit, bro. Can you handle 2 kids?" I'm like, "Nigga, I'm listening to hip hop like you listen to hip hop." Because they're always looking for that black fall guy. They always want that connect to get into the hood because they weren't welcome into the hood until Keisha broke down the hood, and now Mexicans are moving in the hood at a rapid rate. But for a long time, it was a gun line, boss.
Yep.
So
Man,
they were
Keisha treacherous ass moving the migrant niggas into the cribs
And
now,
look,
bro. I just put
Keisha
that.
is the op. Everybody keeps talking about this black and brown. No, nigga, it's really black men, white men of all, nationalities. The shit. Shout out to the Germans, really. You know what I'm saying? I need some German friends. I got me a little Irish friend. I need a German friend.
Yeah, Germany going through it right now too. All of Europe is struggling with the same kind of
I get that.
awakening.
Somebody American channel your racism through me. I remember Patrice O'Neill said that. But he was right. Give me all your racism powers. I got you. The,
Make
the
racism great again.
the thing is, the black and brown coalition in real time didn't make sense for Jesse Jackson to be in Chicago and the Latin Kings and Satan disciples going against the blacks that hard in real time. And I'm like, is he serious?
I think
So
Dirty, I think you and I have, like, in our own roundabout way, come to the same conclusion that, and I was just kind of breaking this down. Like, I've sort of made an American hierarchy system, and I've put it this way: the main three Americans are whites, obviously, blacks come next, and then the Native Americans, because my bad, y'all, it had to be done, but and then Latinos get like an honorable mention as number 4, but really it's 3 groups. And Native Americans really don't have much social or political movement, so it's just black and white. Therefore, black folk have more of an allyship. We have more allyship in white America than we do all the non-white people coming here after us to take over. And black folk and white folk need to kind of put some of our beefs to the side and just be racist against the rest of the world for a couple of years and see how that works.
But you know, racist, patriotic, however you want to call it. The and here's a white problem. The white problem is they sons are cowards too. Purple haired little boys, DEI, you know, little boys. There's a skit done by a white girl against a white girl, which is funny, right? A blue haired white girl who was talking about screw Gen X. And then there was this regular Becky. She was like, don't fuck with Gen X. They are the generation that hold grudges forever. The ones that have come through 3 years later and kill you for something you did 3 Christmases ago. Like those are the riders. Like you just go play your games and color your hair and be fake gay. Leave Gen X asleep. Leave the latchkey generation sleep. And I was laughing because I thought latchkey was a black thing. Apparently, it was a generational thing. Every boomer wasn't shit of all generations. And every Gen X had to, and earlier millennial had to get it out the mud of all generations. Last of the riders. The problem is these Gen X women wanted to show their children all the things they didn't have because, you know, their parents was on crack or dad just went to get a cup of milk, or, you know, whatever the case may be, and pussyfied their kids and made everything about structure and authority a bad thing. To the point that now they're saying math is racist. Math is racist because girls can't count.
You talking about that goofy ass bitch from the Chicago teacher? You was saying that goofy. Yeah, I got a video coming about that goofy ass strike. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Gen X was a murderous, but that's my point. But that's what's needed in times of hardship. A murderous generation.
I think we need something a little bit more pointed than just a murderous generation. You say that, and I think like Clockwork Orange or something. I think we need something a little bit.
That's them. I mean, old dog, Bishop.
No, that's not what we need, though. That's not what we need. That was a long pause for some reason. I want to get to this clip.
I've
been wanting to review this clip for a few minutes. Hold on a second.
Many outgoing people, many of the residents that we talk to here simply say they have not had enough time to find more permanent housing, and they're really caught in the middle this morning.
I thought there would be some compassion, maybe a little bit of an extension to help these people find somewhere to go. They put some paperwork on our doors saying, if you find a place to go, we'll pay your deposit in first month's rent. I bet you $100 to $1. Nobody has been put or placed or helped find somewhere to go.
Now, the building's management says that the problem stems from gangs that have pretty much overrun the entire building and taken control of the building. They say it's not the code violations that the city claims. Now, many outgoing.
Yeah, your own government won't even work out the issue. Your own government is like, hey, listen, man, y'all just got to get up out of there.
This is years of
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say this is years of Democratic-led governments in a particular city called Denver that turned into a sanctuary city when all the so-called leftists want everybody has something free. They want to stick it to the so-called rich men of the so-called areas by making them into now a third world city. Because I mean, look at it. This is all blue written all over it. Written all over it. And this is what they get. This is what they deserve, and this is what they're gonna keep on doing for no matter who.
Before I say that, before I agree with you, because it's easy to point and look at somebody else like we're not all Americans, right? Before I agree with you, look at what happened to Seattle. Look what happened to Portland. Look what happened to Oakland.
Even better.
Every time you get a gay mayor or a dyke mayor, your city crumbles. Chicago's on their second run of a gay mayor, back to back. So I don't want to be so quick until I get about this bitch. I don't want to be so quick to look for the demise of blue cities. But I will say this.
I do. I live for this shit. Go ahead.
I will say this, that nobody likes the way the medicine tastes. I was talking to Jap last night, and we were talking about the he was talking about the Central Park Five, right? How they were really criminals, even if they didn't, touch that woman, they still beat people and rob people, and they still deserve to be in jail. They still beat women. And they were celebrated by Kamala. Kamala Harris celebrated convicted, confessed criminals on stage at the conviction, at the convention with Al Sharpton introducing him as the keynote speaker. And I said, man, only in a society where black women celebrate their criminals and vilify the dudes that really want to make a change. Those are the ones they cancel. They cancel the guys that want you to be better. It's not a tenable thing. Black is dead. Black is dead, bro.
Yeah.
The rebrand is
Yo,
needed. Black is dead.
yo, Dirty. It's funny you say that, right? It's funny you said that they vilified the guys that try to make the change. Um, I was watching Trigonometry, and Jordan Peterson put out a tweet to somebody and said, "Why do you hate me? The only thing I do is try to be a good man." And the guy, Constantine Kiffin, said to him, "You answered your own question." And basically, he was like, "Yeah, there's people that just want for this to go to shit, like just want to believe that like just celebrating the criminals and like just leaving things the way they are."
Hold on, American man. Wait. I don't think that was a significant fucking mass drop for Peterson. I remember Peterson specifically because I used to watch a lot of his content. Like before he turned to the dark side or whatever, I was going back and rewatching like his old lectures and stuff because a lot of his college work was on YouTube. And he had this one thing about, being a good man. He was like, don't try to be the good man. He said, you should try to be like dangerous or something. He actually spoke against that idea of being the good man.
I know, right? Hood. Now look at him. Look at him.
Yeah, I remember that speech.
No. I don't. I think. Hold on. I think that's being misinterpreted, right? He was saying good man, like don't be that simp type good man. Like I think that's being a little misinterpreted, right? Like being a good man is true, like truly being masculine and things like that. Like so, I think you guys may have taken that the wrong way. He meant like good man as in simp type bullshit.
Well, no, there's been people who've been watching Jordan Peterson for a while have kind of noticed a bit of hypocrisy with him. And so I don't know, maybe we're missing each other here, but I thought I just connected some dots that I didn't notice before when you said that Jordan Peterson, like he cried about, I just tried to be a good man this whole time. Nah, that's wild for him to say that. It's very ironic, bro. Trust me.
Nah, bro, I've been watching Peterson for a while as well. I actually have his books too. But
money, because like it's I hear y'all, but all of this shit function on sales, bro. And there's two things happening already. One, the funds have already dried up. Like, I'll be listening to WVON, you know what I'm saying, anything like that. I know they lean certain.
What funds? Funds for who are you talking about?
Okay, so you have vouchers for living and eating and all this other different type of stuff.
Oh, the legals.
Right. And that's kind of drying up, right? So everything that you're talking about, the expansions and all of that is literally funded. Without that funding, it doesn't happen. The second part of the money is you're dealing with I don't like saying, the drug sales and all that other type of shit. So when things start affecting normal operations of what you're getting every month and everything like that, then you have to take that into account. So what I'm saying is this: it only goes so far, because at the end of the day, once that crime starts affecting uh, uh, how you function with certain connects and everything like that, like I said, the people you're talking about don't really run it. They don't the on screen. They ain't running it. They're the newcomers. So as that starts to disrupt the normal flow of trade, bruh, shit change. As well as once
What is with everything but trade with you? And I respect trade, but if you don't have guns, you're just stacking things for the bigger bully. If you can't protect what you have, then why did you get it?
And Dave, it seems like you're describing this as if these are all totally natural, organic occurrences, and we're like in some kind of cyclical and environmental thing, right? Where it rains and then it dries, and then it rains and then it dries. Like I don't think it's quite as organic as you seem to make it appear. This is something that's. But
what do you mean by
right,
organic?
right. So if it's being done intentionally, why do you think these same people who are doing it intentionally will somehow say, "All right, that's enough. We're going to make everything like it was before"?
Because the coffers are it's already been out. I'm just talking about where
America
Chicago
prints
land.
money. Things are expensive
I'm
because of
just talking about
inflation.
Chicago
America
land.
prints money.
Like the coffers are dead. Like right now. So in the beginning,
Maybe it's not about the money though. Not in the way you see it, anyway.
Oh well, let me mute if you think it ain't
Look,
about the money.
here's the thing, bro. We're living in a country, and we've been like this since the communists took over 60 years ago, right? Well, especially since Reagan. Reagan wasn't no commie, but Bush Jr. Since Bush Jr., right? Because I think Clinton was a commie, right? Since
Oh
that
yeah,
time,
Clinton was definitely a fucking commie bastard. So yeah, yeah.
since that time, we've had consistent commie, right? We've been consistently commie, right? We had a Trump break, but he didn't get much done. Here's the thing. Once your government looks after everybody except their taxpayer, you're going to have a revolt. And the discussion that Dave is saying about the Venezuelans, which may be accurate, is the same discussion that the Red Pill been talking about women living off the system for 10 years.
No, this is the same situation they had in fucking France with Robespierre had basically told the Parliament, let's get rid of the nobility, let's go ahead and get rid of King Louis and put that bitch Marie Antoinette into a nice haircut, give her the best haircut that money could ever
No.
fucking buy.
King Louis went down because for the same reason that King Ahab went down, right? Because Ahab listened to
To Jezebel. So America
Jezebel,
listens to
he
fucking
listened to
Kamala.
Antoinette. Any man who listens to a woman is doomed to fail. History shows you that, but yet and still, black men listen to women, want to vote for women, think women can run households, think women can run communities. Anytime you listen to a woman, even at the top tier level, you're doomed to fail. The black and brown communities are going to go down because they listen to women with clothes on. And the government is going to go down because they fund women with clothes on to go against the men. 70% of all tax paid services come from men. 70% of the tax paying money is men. Only 30% comes from women. Women are a net negative in the workforce. Women are a net negative in the home. Well,
And
without adult supervision. Like her in the home by herself, her and her kids, she's a net negative. The kids can't read and everybody violent or cowardly. So they've intentionally weakened America for 60 years. Even Klaus Schwab is talking about, man, the new world order is going to be when we can put women and gays in power. Once you play the crayon game, you listen to girls with clothes on. Once you play the man game, you realize you have allies, but you got to ditch your bitch to get it. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Yo, J Powell, America died in the 80s, bro. Slow death though, probably in the 90s. I don't know if you realize, but we're on a loop, been on a cultural loop of 1993 for the last 30 years, bro.
Sort of like in the Matrix. If you watch the original Matrix, their rendition of peak society was basically like the late 90s. Because remember, technically, they all lived thousands of years or hundreds of years in the future. But if you go back into the Matrix, the program, it was like 1998.
A hood. You see that alleged study? Apparently, study came out talking about what the migrants have cost taxpayers in 1 year. 150 billion.
No, I was gonna say everything, bro. The answer is everything. That's what they've cost us.
Yeah, but
Everything.
I'm just saying direct money. And then people talking about like, oh, like this is good for the economy. I'm like, how's it good for the economy? Like, cause I mean, Ann Coulter pointed out years ago, you can't have like this, like, welfare state that you just allow anybody on and open borders. You just can't do it. You don't have a country. She was right.
The only
It's
job of the
obvious, bro.
president is to protect your borders, right? To protect you from all terrorists, both foreign and domestic. So you're letting foreign terrorists come into your nation with no border, and then they're becoming domestic terrorists that take over Aurora, Colorado, and you're saying, "Yo, stand down, let them be." You don't have a
Well,
government.
what does it say about your own government that condones it? Like, and this is why I keep comparing it to like all the European countries, because it can't be an ironic coincidence that Europe is being flooded by non-Europeans at the same time Australia is being flooded by non-Australians, and America is being flooded by non-Americans. And it's like, what does it say about all these governments who are basically like abusing their own people at this point? Like,
This
it's
is
wild.
empire. This is empire residue of hood. Think about it. This is all British problems that caused with the transatlantic slave trade when it got involved. All them places, Australia, America, Canada, all these places was once under British rule. And look at fucking England. I mean, we all going down like a well on a boat. I mean, we vote for this shit because we want to go ahead and use outside forces to fund our so-called delusional hypocritical lifestyle, luxury lifestyle. But at the same time, though, we want to be the big shots, but everybody at the bottom, they want to get a little piece of the pie. They want a little bit of the milk too. So they want to come over here and get their little wings spread for the American dream. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
we
but
have too
Mr.
many
O,
people at the bottom. We got
Okay,
too many people at the bottom, and now all the people at the top, they looking like, oh shit, someone's
I'm,
got to pay for this, man.
I'm
yeah,
about to
but
go
Mr. O,
rumble.
Mr. O, this ain't organic though.
Yeah,
You
this
like
ain't organic.
you got NGOs and all this stuff giving people roadmaps and like forms and stuff like that for when they get in for legal arguments and everything else. This is actually by design. I mean, there's
Right.
multiple
They
NGOs,
did this
man,
in
like all
Rome.
over the world,
Everything's
But
man.
by design, like you
but
said. Everything. Look, they did this first in Rome, bro.
but,
Everything that
but
you talking about, they did in Rome first.
wait. I'm not gonna let you be like second class racist on this one. Britain.
I'm first class with my shit, sir. I don't know what you're talking about. First class with
Mine,
mine.
Farley, man. But check this out. This is not a well. It's a Britain thing because the World Bank is in Britain. I'm about to teeter on Rumble content type of thing. I'm going to watch what I say, even though I'm not sharing it. I'm just going. I'm gonna act like you monetize. Look, if you really want to go back, Britain was the first nation to abolish slavery. Not officially, they just like, nah, no slavery. When the American Revolution started, Britain was like, yo, if y'all fight for us, man, ain't no slavery. Um, France also abolished slavery, but France was hands off when they had their colonies anyway. When they had, Michigan and Florida and all that, they were kind of hands off. They were just trading pelts. The issue wasn't the Atlantic slave trade. It's not the like the the chickens coming home to roost. The problem is the World Bank. There was a time in which all the places that Bush said were the axis of evil, the reason they were is because they didn't have a World Bank. They weren't part of the central banking system.
So we was gonna shift it to the small hats because all that ties into the small hats,
All right,
Mister
cool. Let it be that. Let it be that. But I'm saying don't put it on Brit. Put the blame where I want you to have the right enemy. Y'all niggas been fighting the wrong enemy for a long time. You've been shooting at fucking Semites and Keishas the whole time.
Yeah, but if you're gonna talk
Hold
about
on,
the
real quick.
if you're gonna talk about the central banks though, you ain't just talking about small hats.
Whoa. All the motherfuckers. Hold on. What is this at?
This is called the Darien Gap. It's like one of the major crossing points in that South American route for the migrants.
That gap
Freeman's
is
Journal.
between
Freeman's Journal. Hold on. Let me get Freeman up here real quick because you tried to join earlier and he dropped off. Man, you've been wanting to get on this panel for a second.
Hey, how's it going?
Evening,
Man,
afternoon.
look, man, black isn't an option, right? Black is over. Team Black, you are a free agent, right? Keisha's destroyed the community, and nobody cares anymore. I don't know. I saw that. Hood, did you play that snippet from Aaron Magruder, the guy who did Boondocks? Anyway, I'll put it in the back chat.
When he did that little,
I have it, and
press.
I've been meaning to play that, and that's a great thing to end the show off on. Honestly, let me get that up.
Yeah. So black isn't really an option. I mean, half of black people are useless, right?
Half.
The other half.
How about 3/3? I mean, 2/3.
Like
2/3.
I mean, I'm being generous.
Easy,
I'm being generous here. And the people that are functional are already integrated and really don't care. I mean, you could argue, I've referred to black flight so many times in my streams now. Y'all should get the point if you follow Hood Conservative, right? It's over. It's over. You are a free agent. You need to take 20th century thinking and flush it in the toilet because we aren't there anymore, right? What's going on right now is what Merkel did to Germany 20 years ago, right? So it is going to take a radical political shift against illegal immigration. That is your last and best hope. That is it. There is
not even illegal immigration. This is why people are pissed at Trump, because people on the right, and especially if you get into like the far right, the Fuentes crowd and whatnot, the red elephants and all that kind of stuff, they're saying zero immigration. And I tend to agree, because look at these people that just walked in here. Like, we have enough people for whatever things that need to be done. We have enough people for all the things. And then not only that, we have enough people to even make more. So we can actually kick these people out and not take any people in for a little while, and then get our stuff together.
Yeah, exactly. That is part of the larger goal of actual integration and assimilation, right? You got groups coming over here; they're not even giving their kids Christian names. I'm not trying to vote for Vivek. I'll vote for Greg Ramaswamy long before I vote for Vivek. So,
I mean, yeah, and I like Vivek, but it's another brown foreigner. I'm always suspicious now.
Yeah, I mean, America has to figure it out, right? This is a starting over, right? What is old is gone. It's decaying right in front of your face on that video, trudging across that river.
America's already figured it out.
This is the tough.
No,
I'm gonna translate what you said. What you said literally is, if you want that. Now, I'm not playing. I'm not on. I'm like, trust me. I'm against the border wide open, all that other type of shit. But what you just stated, be prepared, because we're dealing with a baby boomer generation that is passing away. And the way economic works, if you want to keep the economy fast, you're gonna have to have the same amount of people. So
no, you don't.
Are you prepared?
Are you working in a factory, sir? Why do you need the same amount of people?
You don't, though.
Fuck it.
And honestly, I think when you make it, I'm gonna kick it right back to you. But let me say this, because I know 3 people just cut you off. I'm gonna kick it right back to you. When you make it about money, I think we missed the point. Nationalism isn't about money. My blood and my soil is worth more than all the money. You got it back, Dave.
Okay, so I'm just describing what the situation is and certain things and why they happen.
There are enough idle hands to pick up the slack. Period.
Yeah, but the whole system is based on a Ponzi scheme right now. So if the boomers die off, you don't need all that money. You don't need all the workers or whatever to support the people at the top.
Right.
But are you prepared? This is all I'm saying.
Look, man, look. I was at an
I haven't
illegal.
even
I
said
was at
shit.
a
Why is it
illegal
I can't say
immigration
shit
forum,
and y'all already know what the fuck I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
we know
my
what you're saying, and that's
here's the
what
thing,
Let
man.
me just get this statement out before you respond to what I'm saying. Let me just say it so that you can respond to it, because you responded to something I didn't say. I
Hurry
ain't
up.
said shit yet.
Hurry up.
So here it is. Your Dow, your S&P 500, your 401k, and all that other type of shit depends upon a populace to keep the size of an economy
Why?
of what it was
Why?
when boomers were
Why would
alive.
my
Okay, hold on.
These are
No,
the tough
let me
decisions.
Stop.
simple
No,
math.
hold on,
Argue
Dirty.
with me.
Let
I'm
the
just
man
telling
finish.
you.
Let
Give
him
him
talk,
30
Dirty.
seconds. Give him 30 seconds.
Makes no sense.
I'm
All right,
just telling
Dow
you.
S&P.
That's
Dow
all I'm
S&P,
saying
like
is
100% of Americans
okay. I
put
agree
in on
with
the
34.
you.
Dow.
Give him
Are
30
you
seconds.
prepared
34.
for
Give
it
him
with
30
dropping
seconds.
your investments? That's really the discussion.
Okay, we're gonna
Okay,
lose
so
money going to war. Understood.
my
That's very common. Yeah.
my response is, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I do not care in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Fuck all that shit you talking about. They all gotta go. Period. I don't care if chicken is $13 a pound. They all gotta go.
They gotta go, man. They gotta get the fuck up out of it. That keep
Okay.
rocks
Oh,
on them.
wait. All right, check this out.
I'm not putting a
S&P
position
5. No.
forward. I'm just
Let me help you
presenting
out. Wait, because
your
you're
fact
gonna
of
make
how
me act
shit
smart
goes.
real quick. I'm trying to keep my game banging hat on, but this shit is just too dumb. That's why you got to go. Look, the S&P 500 is based on the 500 top companies. Most companies are quote unquote small businesses, which means they make 5 million or less a year, right? So you have 500 major companies that make the S&P. That's great, fantastic, right? Now, not only do they have to do that, but then they have to be publicly traded, right? So Bad Boy ain't gonna make the S&P. Mars ain't gonna make the S&P, right? Not gonna be able to get you little Snickers and make money every time somebody eats a Snicker, right? So they have to want to have shareholders. Then people have to want to invest in that company. 330 million Americans don't invest in any company, in anything. 330 million people don't do shit. So you still got the same 2-3 million people that invest. You could reduce this motherfucker to 30 million and the S&P wouldn't change at all, because they're global companies. They're selling candy in Africa. You still don't need the people. They gotta go. They gotta go.
Hey, also too, man. When I said the Ponzi scheme, I'm talking about the welfare state and like the retirement funding on the government side and all that. That is actually that right there in itself can destroy your economy as well as your country by bankrupting it. That in itself can do it all by itself. Even if you doubled how much money you brought in by the your what is it the measure for success is what it's
I'm
largely
just waiting for
debt
y'all to
based.
understand solution. Americans need to have more babies. Like
Let
that's
me
all.
jump in real quick. That is true, Dave. Let me jump in. Survival just dropped a $5 cash app. Thanks for the donation. He says doing good work, man. Appreciate that. And guys, we got a lot of people listening here. We got a full house right now. So one of y'all like the video. One of y'all other motherfuckers throw $1 or $2 in the hat, and we're going to keep this thing going for a little while longer, man. I think I got like another 30-40 minutes in this show, and then we got to wrap this thing up. But appreciate all of y'all being here. Like, share, and subscribe, and throw $1 in the hat while y'all here. All is appreciated. Every dollar helps. And nobody in Black YouTube seems to be talking about this thing. I don't know why this migrant thing isn't worrying Black YouTube the way it should. Like, niggas are still trying to uncrack the pussy code. Like, I mean, they trying to crack the pussy code. Every Black channel I see is dudes talking to girls about how dudes and girls should talk to each other. That's 90-some% of Black YouTube right now. And then there's like, just regular bullshit niggas that fight all day on panels. But
Yeah, that coming back to the table bullshit. That shit got old as hell, man. But yeah, you right, Hood. You right.
You know
yeah, it's
what?
not a lot of conversation going on. This is why I ask you guys throw $1 in the hat to keep this thing alive. But yeah, I'm gonna kick it back to the panel. You guys got it.
Look, man, the tether conversation. You know what? The tether conversation is a gang conversation for people who are afraid to join gangs. So I don't pay attention to them, right? Um, go ahead, Freeman. Rock out.
You know why I never joined a gang?
No,
I never joined a gang.
You had a dad.
True.
That's like 90 something,
Another
90 some percent guarantee.
Well, look,
Dudes with dads, not much gangmen. They don't make good gangbangers.
there was a period. Well, there's a period when I didn't have my dad in my life, so it could have went either way. But I specifically remember thinking to myself, you know what? I have a future. I'm not gonna throw my life away like these morons selling weed, risking freaking prison terms for what? So I can hang out on the corner swole as fuck? No. I have a future. I'm not doing it.
No, like, I mean, how appealing is it though? You got to join an organization. They got to beat you up before you can join. And then you got to do everything like these motherfuckers say, regardless of, you know what I'm saying, how you feel about it.
Okay.
And I'm like,
You know what?
I just be independent.
Okay, as a member, former member, the reason why they have to jump you in to see if you can fight. Lord forbid if you are in the middle of a gang beef in the streets, or Lord forbid in Cook County, if you cannot throw hands and they see that, not only you gonna get your ass whooped by the other gang, your own gang gonna kick your ass for being a bitch.
You know what?
Yeah,
I'm
but
not even gonna go that far because I didn't get jumped
I
in.
could do what the police unions used to do, right? And I could throw sanctioned boxing matches, and I can train them up on how to,
Right.
like, you know, throw hands
All right,
properly.
that's cool. And I didn't even get jumped in. I did get jumped in one game. The jump in that you guys see on Colors is no different than Hell Week that you go for the frat, which is no different than riding a goat, what you do with the Masons. Everybody beats you up to jump you in. That's something I'm not even concerned about that part. A 30-second act of violence. I'm not even concerned about that part. I won't even disagree that that lower level anything will be the example because they outside lifting weights on a light pole. A lower level anything will be like, that's why I don't want to be that. Until you realize a bunch of your politicians are that. A bunch of your sports figures that's not gay is that. The ones that's gay wasn't that. They should have joined the gang. I can't watch Kevin Garnett because every time he talk, he like, yeah, Lord, peace, Lord, man, check this out, Lord. I'm like, oh, he on his wife's Lord shit. People think he religious if they not from Chicago. I'm like, oh, this nigga on that traveling wife's Lord shit heavy. There is a, and I got a dad, right? My dad's still alive. There's certain things that you don't do when you have a dad. But the ability to move around as a social circle, because in certain places it's almost a social club. You go to meetings, you pay dues, you wear t-shirts, y'all go to the movies together. It's more than just we sell weed.
Our gang was a social club. You forgot, Dirty. We had the jackets and everything, but we was a social club before we was a gang.
Right. And then you get hoes, right? Because hoes fuck the logo. So they be like, I want to be part of y'all logo. All right, give me some pussy. They fuck in. You get them an option. You want to fuck in or fight in. I'll fuck 30 niggas before I fight one fat bitch. All right, cool. Run the train.
That is terrible.
It's life, bro. And then they take a
Look,
shower.
You guys wanted to hear about gang life. No, don't back out now. You got to fuck the fat bitch, and you're number 4.
Hey, but dirty. There's a lot better ways of doing it, man. Case in point, right? I was the quote unquote CD man. Everybody needed me, man. Everybody needed the CD man.
Everybody need to connect. But no matter what type of connect you are, everybody need to connect. And then you want to be able to have a free and fair commerce policy, right? So as the CD man, nobody really pay attention to CD man until you become soldiers at war and they realize you moved 1 million CDs at $10 a piece.
Why you going hard on soldiers at war, man?
I'm not going hard on them, bro. They was going down some shit. It was like 80 of them niggas with them orange t-shirts selling CDs on every traffic light in the city.
It was 100 of them dudes. I was in high school with them niggas on 79th Street, bro.
It was going wild. Come to find out, they had to get jumped in, pay dues, and wear t-shirts too, right? But
yeah,
What y'all talking about? Soldiers at War?
but
yeah, it was a hip hop group on 79th,
Oh man,
right
they
there,
was
Halstead.
and everywhere, they was everywhere selling their CDs in
I
Cologne.
I want to kind of segue off of the Chicago thing, because y'all Chicago niggas be doing Chicago nigga stuff. I gotta reel y'all in every so often. I want to kind of get to the last part of the show, and I've been meaning to comment on this clip. There's several reasons I could have brought this clip up on different streams, but we're finally gonna get to it now.
I really want you guys to understand that time is running out. And a lot of black people say that, but for real. Part of why the civil rights movement has been so successful, and part of why those who have come after in terms of our leadership have been able to maintain a presence, is that black people have always had a certain amount of moral currency that we have been using. And let me be the first to tell you, that's used up. White America has been watching us act like fools for a long enough time where any sympathy they may have had to our plight is completely gone. You're approaching a country that, forget hating black people and not hating black people, they just don't care. You can be talking about affirmative action, they can be like, I don't care. It literally is of no importance to me. I don't care about slavery. I don't care about segregation. I don't care about you. I don't care how many of you all go to jail. I don't care at all, because I'm broke. You can't be the proud, noble fighter when every single time someone sees a person that looks like you on television, they're acting like a damn fool. How would they know? How would they know you're not a damn fool? They're gonna talk to you? Yeah, right. This is what we're facing. Now, this was not a very motivational speech because I'm not a motivational speaker.
Is he? Who the fuck?
I gotta be honest. So wait,
This is Aaron Magruder.
that don't matter to me. I'm a critic. That's what I do for a living.
Man, he's
I'm not here to tell you you can do it, because you know what? Maybe you just can't do it. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. I hope you can do it. I hope to God you can do it. You better do it. Because if you don't, will you suffer? Yeah. But oh, your kids are gonna catch hell. You guys are it. Don't think about Jesse. Don't think about Al. They will not be there.
Yep.
Damn,
Negroes over.
talk that shit.
Dave,
And look how old that was, right? That wasn't recent.
Yeah, that's like 2000 or something.
Here's the thing. It's another fucking celebrity trying to take. Look, y'all gotta understand.
He's not a celebrity.
Celebrities ain't here to talk to you. They here to
Yeah, but he
soothe other groups.
no.
He ain't no celebrity. He's the nigga that made the Boondocks. He's a damn celebrity.
Fuck it.
Like, you didn't know who he was. He's not a celebrity. Most people wouldn't pick him out of like a grocery store line.
You know, Dave, sometimes when you talk, I get the impression it's like you're talking to an unruly flock. Like, we just won't listen to whatever you're preaching. And it's frustrating as a preacher
No, I'm
if
used to
the
it,
flock
man. It's
won't
all
listen
good.
to him.
No, we treat Dave like this is Lord of the Flies.
Really, bro, Piggy got it bad, bro. They did Piggy rough on Lord of the Flies. That was my shit.
I ain't even seen that movie, I don't think. I ain't seen it.
You never seen Lord of the Flies, bro?
No, you gotta read the book. The book more fucked
ain't
up.
no TV ass nigga, man.
Crazy.
Well, no, it was a good. It was a good movie. It was one of those things because I had to read for my high school reading list. I had to read the book and then I watched the movie later on. But bro, it's brutal shit, and it gets to like the simplicity and the brutalities of basic male nature and how the boys young boys, they just easily devolved into like little warring camps, and they formed their own little hierarchies with the little rituals and customs. They went to war with each other. It was a very like anthropological movie, but it was fucked up at the same time because these are real kids. They were about to kill each other. It wasn't like a game. They were like trapped on some deserted island or something. Like it was a wild movie. You gotta watch it one day. But
Yeah, I do the book. Yeah, that's how my cynicism developed.
Hey, what's crazy to me though is all these literary works of art that we like looked to and had to read or whatever. How I'm seeing them play out. I'm seeing Animal Farm right before my eyes.
That's what I was gonna say.
1984.
Remind me of Animal Farm too.
1984 has been playing out since 2020.
Man, I saw 1983 happen like 10 years ago. Like Facebook brought in 1983. I'm like, what?
84, nigga. 84, nigga.
1984. Like,
no. Hey, Dirty talking about 83 was a good year.
And now 83 was the year I lost my dad, right? He's still alive, but that's the year I lost him.
That wandered off one day.
Well, boom's gonna boom. I mean, what you expect? We forgot about the number one of them all, man. We all been living in the Matrix, and we about to live in Terminator with AI. You know what I'm saying? Skynet, AK Meta. Yeah, I don't like how this shit turned out.
I would always wonder, like, and I think this we can debate this closing the show out. What apocalyptic future are we most likely headed toward? And I think it's gonna be most like the Hunger Games. I think that's why Hunger Games was such a popular movie, because it was really original. It was based on like an original work. It wasn't like some sci-fi novel from the 40s or whatever. But the if you look at how the populations are constructed, right? Very high tech and very low tech at the same time. And
I would say Divergent. And Demolition Man meshed together with
Demolition
the little.
Man is possible. I think Demolition Man and Hunger Games like could exist in the same universe. Like it was
That's why I say
Demolition Man
Divergent.
before it went national.
Demolition Man already exists. Demolition Man that's current. That is already happening.
I did a whole show.
I don't know, like Demolition Man is hard to believe because that's way too many competent people for the lack of reading levels right now. So
that's why I said Divergent. Divergent had everybody grouped in class.
Don't forget, I did Demolition. I did a whole stream on Demolition Man and like the racial overtones of it, and a lot of the true ethnicity was actually the people underground, right? And so I think that's how you would work that problem out for us. Like all the people who can't read, eventually they'll just all live underground.
Oh, and Soylent Green. Don't think about Soylent Green.
The thing about
see, that's where movies. I'm gonna say this right. This ain't no fucking movie. Like what you gotta understand.
How come the fucking ain't?
As America decline, you hear people saying, "I'm here for the opportunity." Well, you have to also understand what happens when opportunity is no longer there. People ain't gonna be here.
Okay, I get what it is.
I hear you, Dave, but we're not in that part of the show now. Now we're talking about which apocalyptic future are we headed toward?
No. Wait, no.
Dave is having a hard time with us today.
Bro, you gotta put up the Dunning-Kruger face.
How do you see this playing out? I start saying it. We're not talking about that.
No, I just got Dave.
Let me send you the Dunning-Kruger face, Hood.
I just got Dave just now, y'all. Follow my flow, man. Y'all roll with me, right? Dave is black. Now, this is what that means, right? When you're black, you're of America, but not attached to America. Like this not your country. Like it's some arbitrary shit that white people own, but you live here. Like you wasn't fucking born here, right? Dave black. So Dave thinking money. When everybody else thinks money, and this is why it's bigger than money, Dave. When everybody else thinks like America's a whore that I can fuck and hopefully I can pimp and send the money back home, you don't see America as home. You black. You don't see America as home.
Or Babylon.
You don't.
I don't know.
Hold on. You let Dave knock us off. We were having a fun game. So Demolition Man was brought up.
Yes,
All
and
right,
I said
which
divergent.
apocalyptic future are we headed for?
Hey,
All right,
let's
I'm
meet with
trying to
Snowman.
tell you,
Snowman on the left.
it's more desolation than anything y'all talking about.
No,
What I'm
put it
saying
in
is,
movie terms, Dave. Relate it to a movie. We're past that part of the show
I'll say
now.
Walking Dead,
movies, man, ain't
Hood.
that movie nigga that you looking for?
Well, I'll say The Walking
No,
Dead.
no, like
You
that. The
can't
niggas
do
die early
nuance.
in the
You
movies,
can't do
man. So
nuance, man.
probably
Abstract
not.
thinking. That's if
I
it's
know,
past
bro.
Chicago
Last movie
gangs,
I
forget
watched
it.
was Spider-Man because I took my kids to it,
This
dog. I
nigga
don't
said
watch.
Spider-Man.
I don't watch
If
this
it's
shit, dog.
outside of
It's real
Chicago
life,
gangs,
man.
forget it, Hood. But
I
here's
hear
the
you,
thing:
Dave. I hear you, Dave.
Hunger Games has a huge plot hole, right? The cities are full of incompetent liberals that need the rural areas to actually send them stuff. Right?
Well, no, that's the thing.
At some point, they just stop sending stuff because they don't want to be ruled over.
That's the thing about Hunger Games, though. It's actually yeah. You got all the
Okay,
weirdo
look at Eli.
liberals, the cat lady, and the funny looking people. They all the modern fashion people, right? But if you look at like Snow's inner circle, there's obviously a technocracy somewhere in there. There has to be a technocracy underlying that whole liberal largesse, because otherwise, how would the trains actually run on time? Because the trains do run on time.
True, but it's like, how do they get the food though?
The trains.
Right?
I don't know. You're not
That's
totally wrong. There is a
that's
problem.
the plot
there.
hole.
I'm
There's
relating
a
it to a
huge
movie.
plot
The
hole
closest
there.
thing I'm trying to describe, the closest thing, but it ain't even close, is Book of Eli. In Book of Eli, you had a lack of population.
God damn it, Dave. Thank you. Now you're playing
You had
the
a
game.
lack of population.
Now
What I'm
you're
trying
playing
to
the
tell
game.
you is that as opportunity dries up, a lot of people, not me, I ain't going nowhere. There's only a few group of motherfuckers that this is the shit, no matter what, good or bad. But you got to understand, a lot of motherfuckers is here for opportunity. They tell you that shit. When that opportunity dries up, they not finna sit here and suffer with motherfuckers who this is their shit. It's not finna happen. So what you
why
got to
not fight
understand.
and kill for your shit?
So what you got to understand is when the times get tough, a lot of motherfuckers is leaving. A lot of motherfuckers is leaving. You're dealing more with what I would consider a cantonization, like with South Africa. Not technically no, because they ain't nobody left there like that. But you're assuming that as the economics ain't here and the opportunity ain't here, motherfuckers just gonna stay here and suffer and rebuild.
But why would you want to be a place with no opportunity? Hey, look, I get
Because
what
it's
you're
my
saying.
home, nigga. Ain't nowhere
Right,
else
so
to
why
go.
not fight for your home? Look,
Ain't
everything.
nowhere else to go.
Okay, so why not fight for your shit? If there's
Dave's
nowhere else
really
to go,
having a hard
nobody else
time
wants
with
you.
this conversation, bro. This is killing me.
So basically, okay, so now you're reminding me of the movie An Officer and a Gentleman. When Louis Gossett Jr. kept trying to make him quit, he was like, I can't go nowhere, I ain't got nowhere else to go.
I haven't seen that movie, bro. Just talk to me in like terms. Y'all, I don't watch these movies.
Yeah, it's crazy. He had to choose the one movie that was kind of the black movie. It was the one apocalyptic movie starring a nigga. That's the one movie Dave can remember.
Yeah, real talk. Like I'm do all of this. I'm not open-minded like that.
I know, Dave. I know, and it's beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful, Dave, because you're not open-minded like that.
Hey, so in all actuality, it probably be closer to The Walking Dead, like where you know what I'm saying the infrastructure and all that stuff would just go down over time, but it would balkanize, and then some regions would go down faster than others.
The problem of the Walking Dead like relation, I don't know how like the zombies. I mean, because most people will effectively be like the zombies. Is basically how that would apply.
That's the liberals. They are the zombies, Hood. Them the zombies.
You'll have the roving bandits or whatever. You just won't have like people just eating your face.
Right?
It'll
Because
be the same
zombies,
thing.
the
I don't
people
know.
were worse
Liberals
than the
look
zombies.
cannibalistic.
What you're gonna
I
have
don't
is
know.
cantonization. Like what we was talking on a previous conversation, what you're gonna have is gonna turn into like how we be repping our city. Because the whole
Well, I mean that's why I said balkanization, because
right,
what's
yeah,
gonna be
that's
it's
what
gonna be like
balkanization and cantonization. Okay, yeah, I choose balkanization is a more familiar term, but yeah, cantonization is what I meant.
I mean,
Balkanization is what I
cantons,
meant.
yeah. It seems like we would form something like that because like it would be. I don't think people get how difficult it is to establish like a large territory national government. Like America's pretty big, especially as territories go. Like to have this much contiguous like governance.
It's a continent-sized country.
Right.
No,
Like
no other
Ask
country
China.
is really doing that.
They've been like this is the longest time that China's been united amongst all their different factions for a long time. They've been.
this is why I like Hunger Games, because it's, districts, what, 1 through 13 or something like that. You can kind of see America falling, because Hunger Games was like a post-apocalyptic America, basically. And you could see it kind of divvying up into little territories and being ruled by this and that elite, like the cartels take over the West Coast. I don't know, some kind of hillbilly liberal alliance rules the Northeast. Like little different pockets will start to evolve.
Hillbilly alliance is crazy.
I know the hillbilly liberals are dangerous people, bro.
But absent economic opportunity, you're dealing with a mass exodus.
Rollerball.
To go where?
If they can
The
get
Running
out,
Man. What if it's like the Running Man?
If they can get out, and if their area, say, is not worse than this area would be, because if America was to fall because of lack of economic opportunity, I mean, would Venezuela be any better off?
Not
For
only
example?
that, would you be any better off? So if you want your nation to fail, so other people will leave your nation, then you're in a shithole. You might as well be in the projects with Keisha right now. Like, why
this
would
this was one of the key. This is one of the keystones.
Niggas be wishing the downfall of society because they.
This is one of the keystones or whatever in the argument for the whole back to the table bullshit that people was talking about on Black YouTube. They were like, well, like, when economics like fail or like start falling off, then the women will have to come back to the table. And I'm like, that is loser fucking talk.
That's some cup talk.
It's some black pill shit.
Hey, I was supporting that argument too. I mean, I had to look at the hindsight of things, but it is what it is, though. I still want to see them suffer, though. But it is what it is.
You know what? I think I agree. I think I had that kind of process too. Oh, it's like an evolutionary thing. You get to that point where like you don't want it, but that's the only thing that can happen. So it's like, all right, let it happen. But why would you actually want the collapse? It's a solution nobody would actually want.
Because we like Moses, bro. Look, we know that the ones that we trying to take to the promised land cannot go there. So we got wander in the desert for 40 years and let them die off, just like we got to do with the damn baby boomers and some older Gen Xers too.
It's funny you mentioned that, right? So like, none of those people made it to the promised lands, but their kids could have. Case in point, the whole boomer thing, and I hear like the boomers getting like banged on, man, by like many different, like across different ethnicities, right?
Like everybody.
And it's funny, man, because it's like yo, man, we understand how like you weren't gonna make it to the promised land, but you sacrificed my promised land.
See, that's the thing.
No.
That's the thing that Aaron
no.
Magruder is trying to get at. Hold on. That's the thing Aaron Magruder is trying to get at. Everybody feels poor, right? So this whole little we need kid gloves for blacks and we got to make up for slavery and all that horse shit. That shit is over. I mean, it is over in a big way, and
it needs to be.
Yeah, it absolutely needs to be. It absolutely needs to be. I agree.
It's worse. It's worse than that. It's worse than the boomers could make it to the promised land, so they try to stop their kids.
Well, it's not that they and that's the thing. That isn't even the thing. The boomers have nothing to do with their success, right? That is an historical anomaly, right? That occurred.
It was the greatest generation to contribute to their success. You're right.
It only occurred in specific parts of the country, right? That were industrial centers post World War II, right? Everybody else got screwed. The fucking steel industry got screwed. You still had
the stockyards and stockyards.
The South was full of poor people, full of poor whites, full of poor blacks. No, everybody was not driving 2 cars and had a lake home because they worked at the mill. That shit is false, right? People are living off of a falsehood. But
I'm gonna just be real.
But everybody's tired. My overall point is everybody's tired of bull.
The baby boomers is the largest, actually the most gang banging group out of everybody, because they literally they bent the wheel of society to what they wanted.
Okay, wait. There's a lot of inaccuracies here, but let me just go with the the promised land thing. All right. Here's the crazy part. The the walk, the walk from Egypt to the quote unquote promised land in 6 days. It's a 4 hour drive. It's Chicago to
That's
Detroit,
out from
right?
them. And y'all talking about things, shit. It's
The
crazy.
the reason that they didn't make it to the promised land wasn't because it wasn't their turn. It's because they acted like boomers. Once they got out, the first thing they did is fuck they best friend wife and jagged off all the money on strange hoes and didn't work and begged for welfare, which was the manna coming from the sky.
Let me see who's the big generation.
They did exactly what the boomers did in our time frame.
Literally.
To the point that, motherfucker had to go and write a book like, yo, don't steal, don't kill, don't fuck your brother, wife, man. Like, why did you need those commandments? Like, what type of bullshit would y'all for a month I had to tell you, like, yo, don't fuck it until
Dirty, you forgot that's in our bylaws though that we ain't supposed to mess with each other. But anyway.
but until I got older and really watched my parents, right? Like, wow. And start watching my neighbors' parents, me and my friends. I made a Facebook post the other day. I said, I wish me and my friends had the talk in our 20s that we having in our 40s, while we were all individually trying to figure it out. We were collectively hanging out. We were pair bonding. Well, that's how pause. You know what I mean, though. We were group bonding, but we weren't having the real conversations like, what's your home life really like? Like, why are we always outside together? Why are we always, and it's not on the block lifting weights, it's why we always at the mall, at the show, trying to holler at girls at the club. Like, why are we always outside? Why don't we want to go home? That things that we didn't think about at the time because we were outside having fun together. But Atari was out. We ain't had PlayStation yet. We had Atari 5200. We could have been in the crib playing Pac-Man. And we had.
I mean, that's not as immersive though, man. Not even close.
I know it's not as immersive. I'm just saying I'm saying now that we're older, we had a conversation like, what was going on? Like, man, my uncle was on crack, my mama was a busser. Me and none of our motherfucking me and none of my siblings got the same last name, but my daddy adopted the other two. Like, they was doing wild toddler shit, bro. Them boomers was going
undercover boomer.
Nah, they was going full toddler. Like, never go full toddler. They was going full toddler.
but dirty. Also too, it's like a freedom element, man. If you outside, it's like a freedom. Like, inside meant like a restriction. Because, like, case in point, whenever I went to my grandma's, like in the summer in South Carolina, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you went in the house like more than 3 times during a certain time period, you inside the whole time.
Yep.
They were talking about the AC and
don't slam that door.
And it's like, and you didn't want to be trapped, so you just stayed outside. Hey, I drank out the water hose.
Hey, I have a 90-year-old father. Now look, check this out, because that's why I get mad at when motherfuckers talking about they want somebody from the 1950s and shit like that. Look, I have a 90-year-old father, literally. This nigga was old, but by the time I came into the world already, so this nigga was old. He old now too. So I'm trying to figure out what all these people want to talk about the good old days, talking about we was all together. Like, no, the fuck we wasn't. No, the hell we wasn't.
Mr. O, they don't understand the trade-offs. Because guess what? Hey, old boy might go upside your head. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you get home and something ain't right. And then, like, they praising all these white dudes when the what the dude called Joseph, I think is the dude's first name, the dancing hillbilly from West Virginia. His last name was White. The Whites of West Virginia, that documentary and all that. Man, he beat his girl because she didn't cook the eggs right. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, all these people, like, praising all these other cultures and all this stuff.
What's so hard about cooking eggs, though?
And was he really wrong?
I mean, let's not do that. I don't know. In my mind, I'm like, but they're eggs. Like, how easy is that?
3-minute job.
Anyway,
You didn't have 3 minutes.
Anyway.
You had 3 minutes.
My man, he was hot about them eggs, though. He's like, she gave me this the last time you were cooking me these slimy eggs, sloppy eggs, and I'm like, oh damn. I'm gonna find that clip. I'm gonna send it to you, Hood.
They like to say stuff
I
like,
can see that. I can see me in that moment.
Nah, I can too, because when people say it's about something else, it's not about the eggs. It could be about the eggs. How many times did he try to? He probably been taught how to make the eggs, how to stand it. Like, look, girl, do the eggs. He probably had a whole egg like seminar for and everything, and she
Had a
still messed up.
PowerPoint.
But I was
Yeah,
just about to say that he had a PowerPoint for showing how to make eggs with a project. Oh wow.
I'm just saying, bro. Like you don't just go fresh from off the streets to beat you over the eggs. Like this is Chinese water
Oh,
torture.
maybe he wanted like over easy like Jack Nicholson did in anger management. He got mad and you know
Yeah.
how he threw the.
Django
Right,
wife broke the eggs. Look what they did to her, man.
but think about it, bro. And then he's a man, which means that men are simple. They eat the same thing the same type of way every time. So these are same fucking eggs, lady.
Hey,
Same goddamn
we also forget that majority of the men between the 1950s or even to like the early 90s, a lot of men served in the military and fought in war. A lot of men was killers back in them time periods.
Right.
yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm
And you
just
can't
saying.
even cook 3 eggs together. Jesus Christ.
You can't
Because
I
get
had
an
to
egg.
kill a
what
man
our
last week.
great
I
great
can't get
grandfathers knew that they had to be restrained.
Yes.
That's something they knew, and there's something that they did not pass down. So now
Yes,
it
they
is up to
did. Yes,
men.
they did, free. Yes, they did.
No,
The problem was the silent generation. They the ones that started all this fair and balanced, equal opportunity that Mr. Lipschitz how to properly
no.
raise children bullshit.
I
Yeah.
tell you, I know. Here's where they fell down. Right,
Uh,
post World War II, they got into lasciviousness. Right, they got into immorality.
that was the
The rise,
silent
the rise.
generation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You are correct, but that kind of hinges on everything. It's like, look at us, look at our prosperity. Right now, we can turn from our families and indulge in this, that, and the other, and that's what they pass down to the next generation instead of check your. So now
And
here we are, and you've got half of a male generation that is brainwashed into thinking, there's nothing wrong with the female president. You know what I mean?
meanwhile,
Despite
our,
all
our
the
cities
information to otherwise.
our cities are being taken over by a guy called Cookie Monster.
You know what?
Look how low we've fallen.
You know what, bro? I do want to say though that Cookie Monster, depending on that's kind of a cool name. You gotta admit.
I already stole it. I claimed it earlier. That is my post-apocalyptic warlord name. So
I mean,
you gotta be
think about
somebody
the
else.
reach of PBS, bro. Think about the reach that they are even down in Venezuela in different languages teaching you about cookies. Think about Big Bird. What if his lieutenant name is Big Bird? That would be so gangster.
Bro.
Nah, man, I'm just gonna rip off barbecue.
Berto. They call him Berto.
I'm just like I'm be barbecue like up in what was it, Haiti?
Yes, I. No, I still got that barbecue show. I might have take it down and get monetized. Like barbecue used to be a sergeant in the police force into the Clinton coup that nobody
What
talks about.
what movie was that came out a
Renegade.
couple years ago?
That was barbecues on best. So you were renegade.
It was a
Yeah,
movie a
barbecue with
couple years
renegade.
ago. It was a movie where like this family, it was like some post-apocalyptic America, and it was all these territories with all these different kinds of psychopaths. Like this was such and such country, and this was such and such country, and like the family had to travel from one place to the next. I forget why, and they had to like travel through all these different territories. I'm like, yeah, I forget the name of that movie. All of a sudden, it just popped into my head. Like it seems like we're headed for this kind of shit where it's about to be a free for all in this place.
I
Hey,
don't
J.
remember
Poe,
that one, but
drop
there
that
was
movie, bro. Where that get from?
that one movie with the dude that had just passed. You know what I'm saying? He had the scar on his face, The Road. And he stole from that white dude with his son. Like they had like looked out for him and gave him some food, and then like while they was asleep, he like stole all their shit, and then dude
Wasn't that
tracked him down.
Omar from The Wire?
Yeah, it was. And dude tracked him down or whatever, made him strip buck naked and took everything from him after they found him. I was like, damn. And he was
Well, he wanted
crying.
to kill him. His son didn't want to catch the body, but he should have killed him
Yeah.
and just kept it moving.
Yeah, because I'm like, then he wouldn't have had to like, struggle or whatever. He would put him out of his own misery. And I'm like, but the son being weak actually made it worse for that dude. Kind of funny. Now you think about it.
Yeah, That was a hell of a movie too, by the way. The Road, like that scene in the cannibal house when he was about to kill his son and himself, like, oh, that was a tense moment. That was like some great like filmmaking right there. I remember watching that for the first time, like with a pit in my stomach, like like the anguish of that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's tough, man. And like it's things like that where it kind of make you think. Be like, hey man, could you do something like that? Hell, like even a documentary I watched, I was talking to somebody about Bill Withers, Still Bill. I was like, Bill Withers was working for like 8 months when he was becoming a celebrity / star and was making all this money hand over fist, but he thought it was just gonna go away. Then, like at the height of his career, when he was about to start like really touring and making even more money, he disappeared from like the public space or whatever to go raise his family. I was like, damn, man, how many people could actually do that?
Yeah, it's tough, I guess. But listen, we actually just passed the 3 hour mark, so I think this pretty good time to wrap this show up. We ain't even killed Dave today. I think we're doing well. That was progress. That was progress, man.
I mean, but Dave, you on the list though, bro. Like I was trying not to kill you today, bro. You were saying a lot of.
Dirty said he had to go a couple times though.
Like, Dave,
we made it though. We got through it together.
No, I'm still gonna kill you, Dave. You still got to go, Dave.
Can I get my final thought, man? Because y'all been.
Wait.
Y'all been good today,
Jesus
man.
Christ! If I give you a final thought, I gotta let
You
other
just
people
sound like
talk.
Negan right there, conservative. You just sounded like Negan.
I know, right? That's my
Get it
guy
together.
too, by the way. I love the character Negan. What up, Freeman?
You got to put the picture.
You got to put the pick up.
Then I was working on it in the background. I almost got it. Hold on, give me 2 minutes to finish it. I had to take it off of Twitter first. Had to do some work to it.
Me for revving up.
Yeah.
Like even before I can get to it, like 7 seconds in, y'all will see it. Be like, man, he on some bullshit.
But no, you forgot to play the black woman privilege when we was talking about the black woman and her her failed debauchery raising proper warrior class men to go against the Latino coalition of migrants. But she know how to turn and kill other dudes that look just like us. You forgot to play that what's next for me hood. Just no, we play next show.
I have black mother privilege. And I'm going to start breaking that down for y'all. Because there is a privilege for me as a black mother. I'm not going to have the same relationship. My sons adore me. My sons will put their life on the line in a New York minute over me. My sons will lose everything they have over me. Over me? It ain't happening. My sons will turn on their father over me. Over me? So when you ask me about my black sons, the relationship does not correlate the same to what I'm saying about black men.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
That is wild, man. Get your son to crash out and then be bragging about it.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
The whole community is a crash show.
Right. These are those become the men that want other men to fight for them, then kill the man that killed for them, so they could be the only good men.
That's the boomers and that's the pro blacks right there. That's the boomers and the pro blacks.
You wanted to close this out, Dave?
Yeah, I came to an epiphany today that I'm starting to realize.
Epiphany.
I'm starting to yeah. Except without that fucking Drano ring on his ear, whatever the fuck that shit called. I don't know what the fuck that shit is with the man. You need to blot out that nigga. Yeah, I don't know what that shit mean. But look, I came to an epiphany today. If we wanted to put it in terms of who won the most on the campaign, seemed like everybody complaining because these boomers done took over, and motherfuckers scared to wrestle this shit away from these motherfuckers with some unified campaigning. That's what
I mean. I just want to push them old bastards down the fucking flight of stairs or just take away their damn button to their power chair.
I want to hear this. I want to hit it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I want to hit this, man.
Oh my god, man.
So now boomers the
No.
ops. I mean, boomers are the ops, but that's what we going with today. Boomers the ops.
I'm rolling with that. I think that X and the whatever closest it is next to it, that's the austerity generations. Motherfuckers ain't got the numbers, ain't got the wherewithal to be closed-minded and say we all we got. I think it's going down to that. Who's that next big population? Past X, because it looked like they got their own everything. You know what I'm saying? The way they
You talking about millennials and Gen Z,
yeah,
Dave.
they
Millennials
in
and
their
Gen
own
Z.
world and they popping up and everything like that. And to a lot of these questions, I think, especially to what the topic of the show was, follow the money, and you'll understand how it's gonna end up. Especially monitor the city budgets because being able to repay your monthly interest payments and having bondholders happy to be able to keep and re-upping that money, that's really gonna dictate how all of this go. And then on that end game type shit y'all was talking about, it ain't no movie. It's more of you got to understand why people is here, and once you do that, you understand once opportunity. They tell you every day, I'm here for opportunity. So I ain't talking this. That ain't got nothing to do with immigration. I'm just talking about the populace of America in general. So as that opportunity ceased to be what it was, you're gonna see in that scenario, which I don't hope for at all. You'll see an exodus more or less. But that's about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dave. Thanks, Dave.
Give it up to Dave, ladies and gentlemen. Give such a
anytime.
I don't know what the fuck they had to do with nothing, but shout out to Dave.
Facts, yeah. But shout out to Dave, just the same, bro. Big shout out to Dave. I don't know what none of that was either.
Man, I just said
when I hear that type of
you said it
conversation,
was babble.
Nah, when I hear niggas talk like that, they talk about pineal glands and being God and all that.
I thought he was going to talk about a chakra, but he ended that shit before we got to the chakras.
He ain't say none of that. Shout out to you, Dave.
Shout out to Dave. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dave, y'all. Dave is a regular guest over here on the show. We got to wrap this thing up. We got to get up out of here. It's been a long show. It's been fun. We talked a lot about the migrants. I can't believe I did an hour of content without any talking. It was just straight apocalypto, just running through the Venezuelan migrant jungle. That shit was wild.
Hey, yo, Hood and Dirty. Now, while I get off at work, at around 3:30, 4 o'clock, you know what I'm saying, you're available. I might go ahead and continue this stream talking about the migrants in Aurora and here in Chicago. You hit the signs and shit right now. They fucking around right now. So we might go ahead and continue this a little late over on my platform. So be on the lookout.
Yeah, drop the links and all that, man.
Drop the links.
Yeah, if I get a chance, I'll pull up.
Hey, yeah, y'all sub to Dirty Folks everywhere. Rumble. Yo, support my Rumble, man. I be wanting to go wild. I can't say what I want to say. Y'all think I'm wild on YouTube. I want to go wild, but I can't even talk about the topics I want to talk about on the YouTubery. But support my Rumble, man, and support.
Okay. I do both of effect. We're pre-game over here on YouTube because I got a Rumble channel that I need to build up myself. So we're pre-game over here on YouTube. So we get everybody in the chat. Then we go ahead and really do the motherfucking stream on Rumble. So we can talk how we really want to talk.
I just saw Jap do that last night. I think I'm gonna bite that.
Yeah, that's kind of the model.
Okay, everybody in agreement. So we're going to do that. See y'all around 4:30, 5 o'clock.
I just know what I want to do my show on. Yeah, what's the name of that thing, man? Telescope. What's the name of that app?
Telegram.
We're going. Telegram.
I'm gonna do me a show on Telegram. All right.
A lot of that going on
You
too,
might
man.
want to be careful because old boy got picked up in France, man. He might be singing.
Allegedly set up by the Mossad, bro. That's dark.
Yeah, that is. I was like, damn. I saw that this morning, man. I was like, damn, man, they got him in a honey pot.
Talk about that.
His drill, man.
We gotta talk about that. Now we got something to talk about.
I might have to take that to Rumble. That's the type of
shit. He was allegedly invited by the president of France.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, bro. This is a big game going on.
France betrayed him, man, because like he used to talk good about them, man.
Yeah, and Matt
Man.
Groen and his funny looking alleged wife. That whole place is wild. That is a funny looking broad. I gotta tell you, man. We need to investigate that
Hey,
person.
shout out to Candace Owens for doing the.
Yeah, man. I believe Candace. I stand with Candace, bro.
Hey, we gotta come up with a name. I think we gotta call ourselves a Hayocracy 2.0 or something. We gotta come up with a name for this shit though, but we won't come up with something.
Every time I talk to y'all YouTube niggas, y'all want to have a click name, and I like all y'all, bro. But yeah, I just don't. I'm just, you know
As
what,
soon as
man.
you put a name on it, it starts to get weird.
Yeah, niggas start, you know. Now, once, here's my thing, and that's another reason I got to go to Rumble because I need the white boys. Because once black women like your content, bro, your content be watered down. Like, I don't want to quote Patrice O'Neal, but I remember him saying, "White, I don't want white people to like me. I'm anti-white," which was not true at all. But you know what I mean? It was like the type of content that I have, I wouldn't think would be PG-13, like American content. But it was, right? Everybody love Patrice. That's how I feel about black women. They're like, once black women was like, yo, black women for Trump, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't vote for Trump, you know?
Well, you gotta put it in perspective, Dirty. There's a ratio to it, right? It's
Damn,
still
you
10
right,
to
Dirty.
1. It's still 10 to 1 Kamala. It's still 10 to 1 Kamala.
Like, that's how I run my lifestyle, bro. If two or more black women agree, do the opposite. I'm like, oh
No, listen. I gotta shut this down. I actually got some work I gotta get done, man. I got a deadline to meet. I'll catch you guys later. We gotta close this one out. You guys have a great day. Somebody just donated to the show. Shout out to my man Mike with the $2 cash app. He says Dave makes me miss OG J Speed. I think OG in Africa like training zebras or something. J Speed is in Africa. That nigga got a zebra plantation.
Hey, y'all wild today, boy.
Yo, we out of here though. We done, man. We are so done.
Boys and girls, shut the fuck up! Hey! Not nice. No, thank you. No, thank you. You need to leave? No, bitch. Okay.
Oh. Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help black people.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.